The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
played Among Us. I really want to play Among Us VR though.
Oh, dude, I wanted to play that as well, but I have like 2 or 3 friends that have a VR headset, so it's like I don't want to play with random people. I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of it.
I got my VR headset. I recently got my brother's old headset, so I really want to get into it. But it kind of hurts with glasses, you know.
Oh, dude, I know, dude. Actually, you know what? Something I can pass along. There are websites that make specialized VR lenses that you can stick inside the headset, and you don't need to wear your glasses.
I don't wear glasses. My vision is fantastic, not to rub it in, but I do have the PlayStation VR 1, and that is not a very comfortable thing to wear.
Well, that one's fucking blurry, yes.
Yeah, also it hurts my nose, man. It hurts my schnoz.
Yeah. Like, I would love to get one of those newer VR headsets that are, like, lighter weight on the head, but, like, I don't want to wear a VR headset and play games very often. Like, it's a very unique mood occasionally. Or if there's something really good, like, you know, in Bone... what's it called? Bone Zone? That's not what it's called. It's Bone... Name. I do not play the VR Bone Zone game. Bone Works. That's the one.
Welcome to the Bone.
That's a pretty good game.
Dylan.
Oh,
Dylan,
hi, everybody.
Can you introduce the episode, Dylan? Ooh.
I think I did it last week.
Can you do it again? Ooh.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. I am one of your co-hosts, Garrulous64, also goes by Dylan, because that's the name. I'm here today, of course, with my co-host, Channel Pup.
Hello. I'm here.
And joining us alongside is JebTube.
JebZone.
God,
welcome to
JebZone. Is it JebTube? Wait, sorry. It was the YouTube channel's JebTube. Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Nope. JebZone is rebranded and reborn. Although
wait, when did you do that?
I literally did that with like the recent video. I just decided, you know what? I'm changing my name. Yeah.
Okay. True. I'm glad that I didn't just make that up, because you just made me think I made that up and just completely.
I gave you the mid-down.
Sorry, it was like a different YouTube.
The Jeb Zone. We're in the Jeb Zone today.
The bones.
Yeah. In fact, I don't have T-shirts, but you know, this little avatar of mine is really making me reconsider that.
It
makes
just
me look
head, you know?
rather nice.
I had no choice. I usually give them skeletons, but I was like, you got something we can put on a shirt here. We can make this work.
Yeah.
All right. So as always, today that is a very good avatar. I just clicked on the game or the stream. So as usual, we will be reading super chats at the end of the stream. So we very much appreciate all of the support. You can send those in, ask us questions, do whatever you want. And we also have a Patreon that you can find in the description, where you can support the podcast and also ask our guests questions.
Sometimes.
Which happens sometimes.
It doesn't happen every time. It's sadly not this time.
I think people kind of forget that that's a thing.
No, it can be like sometimes I get the guest nearer the date of the podcast as well, when I'm not 100% certain or something like that. So, you know, But, like, if I know, like, a week in advance that this is definitely happening, there will be special Patreon questions for the guests. But, like, you know, like, we do this again, right? We can get you back on again, Jeb, right? Like, we can do another one with the questions.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean,
yes.
if I don't make an ass of myself right now.
Yeah, man, I hope you've had a good time on the podcast so far. We're already planning your repeat visit.
Catch you next time, buddy.
But yeah, all right. So today we're here discussing Sonic stuff, as always.
We do have a little news this week. Also, Dylan, you've got the fucking terms and conditions down to a fine art, my guy. Good job, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you keep making me do the intro, so I know it now.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to do the intro, right? Like,
no, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for doing it. You will own this show one day. This will be yours. But okay, yeah, we do have a little news. Did we want to what do we want to start with? Do we start small? Do we start little? Little potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little,
yeah,
like, is in toy size, perhaps?
I'm thinking.
Ooh,
I'm thinking.
ooh, I like that.
I want to start with this bit of news, just because I don't have much to add. Sega of America have successfully unionized. Yay! That's good, right?
Well, that's big, I would say. That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's big, but I don't have anything to say other than yay. You know, like layoff protections and all that. Like,
I'm gonna say it's very good of them to do this, because like, you know, you see so many people in the industry these days who make these amazing video games that sell really well, and then they get fired.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sucks.
so it's like it's very nice to see that there's, you know, a company that we care about for making games we care about is doing something that shows that they care.
And in other news, Sega are set to cut 240 jobs across Sega Europe, Creative Assembly, and Sega Hardlight.
Yeah, fuck Sega. Hate them.
Yay!
I don't know what to say, man.
That's not funny, but that's awful. But like, just
I'm sorry.
No, Dylan, you made me laugh.
I knew it was
man.
coming.
You made me laugh.
I know. I knew it was coming. It was in the docket, in like the docket. So I was like, it's good. It's good to see that. Well, who was it? Sega of America? Was you gonna? Okay.
So Sega of America.
Sega of America.
Meanwhile,
Cool.
other Sega are prepping cuts. So Sega Europe, basically, and like, yeah, Hardlight would factor into Europe, and like Hardlight is one that obviously like us Sonic fans have a bit of a relationship with, because Hardlight have never done our boy dirty. Like, they've made some of the most successful Sonic games. Like, whether you want to admit it or not, Sonic Forces Mobile and Sonic Dash are some of the most successful Sonic games ever. They nailed it with Sonic Dream Team, in my opinion. But, like, yeah, apparently you can lose your job for doing such a damn good job, and that fucking stinks.
Yeah.
Well, Dave said our volume's a little bit low. Pup.
No, it's mine. It's okay. I usually have it down because I'm a bit shy, but like...
Oh, sorry, Pup volume.
I've turned it up
Gotcha.
just a slight teensy bit. It's got an
Thank
ad.
you for that, Dave. I appreciate
I'm
it.
watching our stream to check it, and I just got an ad. This is brilliant.
you better watch that ad.
It doesn't like really throttle my audio. I might sound like bass boosted, and I apologize for that.
Oh no, you sound okay to me.
No, you sound good. All right. Well, speaking of news,
The Discord does that. Yep.
Yeah, we don't like the layoffs. That's really bad. So Toys Party then. Shall we talk about the Sonic and the Toys Party?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Do you have aught to say?
I have stuff. I got stuff.
I don't have much
really
to
like-
say.
I like Fall Guys. I don't know about you guys. I like.
I do
Fall
like
Guys.
Fall Guys.
I guess like the main thing with it is when they were rumoring the Sonic Fall Guys like game, I was hoping that like I know Fall Guys, the point of it is, hey, you play as these funny little stumbling guys and the controls reflect that, you know, like it's kind of a little awkward to play on purpose. I was hoping that they didn't copy that part of it, because I feel like Sonic games, when they control good, feel good to play. So, I mean, from the footage that was leaked, which I have a whole other opinion on leaks, not a huge fan of that, but from the footage that was leaked, it at least looks like it's going to play in a way that's not, like, awkward, like intentionally awkward.
Well, it's one of those things where I generally don't report on leaks either. However, in this case, I think Tails' channel revealed some stuff, and it was done kind of with the permission from Sega, if I understand right. So it's kind of not as much of like a devious leak anymore as it might have been otherwise. If you get me. I've turned my volume up. Is everybody happy? Yeah.
I'm very happy.
It's not for you. But like okay, like, so I do like Fall Guys. I think Sonic and Fall Guys is a good match. That's a good pairing, you know. They're all based kind of around movement and physics to some degree, and I think Sonic can lend well to that. The other thing is Sonic's kind of done the Fall Guys thing already in that fucking battle mode in Sonic Superstars, which is basically a Fall Guys clone, but with like a 2D Sonic, and there's like only 3 games or 4 or something, I don't know. But yeah, I think the game looks
that really
nice.
popular game, Fallout Boys.
I was about to quote it, but then I realized it was a quote from fucking Panic at the Disco. But so it goes. The thing that I would want to talk about is something that is irrelevant when talking about a mobile game which is basically made to draw in new audiences. It's a marketing vehicle at the end of the day, so I understand why they're doing this, but Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant!
Wasn't there Seaside Hill in that?
Yes, Seaside Hill as well.
Yeah, oh my god.
By the time you've got Seaside Hill and Green Hill, you've got 2 Green Hills. Like, Heroes fans, fight me. It's the same fucking thing.
I will fight you on that, but for the sake of argument, I'll agree. What the hell?
It is very similar. I do, like, I'll at least give them the fact that Green Hill and Seaside Hill, at least Green Hill typically has less water than a Seaside Hill would.
I mean,
but...
Yeah, the big distinguishing factor for me is that you got like the fucking like the white and red marble structures in Seaside Hill, which you don't have in Green Hill. But at the same time,
there's differences.
At the same time, it's just like it's the Generations assets again. Now, to be fair, these aren't the same assets. They've actually made them look nice and plasticky, and they look like toys now. And I do get it. Again, I get it. If you're doing something that is primarily a marketing vehicle in this case, which is supposed to be like a gateway drug to the harder stuff, like Frontiers, then yeah, it makes sense to have like the Green Hill Zone and all that recognizable stuff. But then we come back to Frontiers, which also has Green Hill Zone. Damn it.
Yeah.
And I can almost get past Green Hill now. I'm almost at peace with it. But Chemical Plant, what the fuck? What even are you? Whose Chemical Plant is this? Who owns this place? What is any of this? What does it do?
I'm getting to the point where I care that they keep using the same locations, but I almost feel like it's like what else are they supposed to do at this point? They clearly don't want to make new locations. They just want to They want it to be recognizable to people, like, oh wow, I haven't played a Sonic game in a while, but I know that, and it's like
if they want to,
I don't care anymore. I give up.
If they want to do it in a mobile app and they want to just make it like an arena kind of thing, like they had in Superstars with Green Hill, all right, okay, fine. No complaints. It's what it is. It's just with Frontiers, and with Forces and with Mania and with I don't care if it was Generations. Fine, Generations did it the first, so it's fine. But Mania was a bit much, and then everything after that was just fuck me. But the thing is, they could win me over on Green Hill if they just did one thing. All they got to do is one thing.
Make it blue.
Yeah, obviously, but make it Sonic's home. Actually make it his home. Give me a hub world. Give me a gift shop. Show me what exists in this fucking place. What's there? What is this place? It's not just
I had no problem with Angel Island appearing all the time back in the day, because Angel Island was a place that was important that you had to go to for reasons.
It actually matters. But the only reason why Green Hill matters in the games is because, hey, I remember that. It's tell me who lives here. What do they do? What does this place actually mean to Sonic? It's not the place he was born. He wasn't a fucking baby in Sonic 1, was he? So what is this place?
Well, yeah, that's the whole
small.
Chemical Plant thing. Green Hill, it's okay, that's the first place, everyone knows it.
Whoa, Tails, hang out at the Chemical Plant?
Chemical Plant, the random fucking the Chemical Plant that presumably Eggman made is what? Why is this
maybe it's a water park.
Place?
Maybe it was just a water park the entire time.
It's the Macathon. Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh god. Imagine you go to that water park and immediately you contract 18 diseases.
It's a nightclub. Can you? Oh my god, though! Imagine a Chemical Plant themed nightclub. Now that would go hard.
Oh, or just a nightclub in general. Instead of a casino stage, just have flashing floor and the spotlights going back and forth.
A real world Chemical Plant nightclub in the real world that you can go to, and it's all decorated.
Really
that'd be sick.
That are the blue things coming out of the tube.
Drown and shit.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd
be like if you go to what's it called, Rainforest Cafe, and every so often they have the thunderstorm, but instead this time it's just the bubbles flying around.
You can have these tubes with all these liquids and stuff, and it just looks really sick. Oh man, I want that now. Give me okay, Sega, bring back Chemical Plant, but bring it back as a nightclub in the real world, and I will go there and I'll have my picture taken going, Chemical Plant again? But it will be a really funny thing, and everyone will like it on Twitter, and I'll be very popular.
For sure.
But again, for a mobile game, fair enough. But
I think I watched can we call it a leak? Or just, I don't know. I watched the trailer or the gameplay of it, and the only word that I could see cross my mind was brand. That's all I had. That's my response to the environments. I'm like, yeah, this certainly is a new way to use the Sonic iconography and also a Toy Story iconography in the
that logo.
I'm really curious if that's finalized because
I thought it was fan made.
No, but it's so like Superstars has killed my trust now though, because I'm just like, oh, that could be a placeholder, and I just think back to the Superstars boss theme, and I'm just like, but that wasn't a placeholder, was it? That was just the boss theme.
Yeah, exactly.
Good golly. Good golly.
Every time I tell myself in Sonic, oh, that's probably just a placeholder, and now I'm like, no, actually, it will be a surprise if it is.
Sonic is the placeholder.
The Forces model was a placeholder in Frontiers.
Yeah.
About it.
Oh no!
I do like that model. I just wish they'd rig it better, like, and give him smaller hands.
The hands thing is a new thing that people like. I get it that his hands are gigantic now that I look at it, but like I never looked at him before that and was like, that man got hands. But like he's throwing hands the entire game. He's got to have big hands.
I think like a lot of people probably noticed it after that. I think there was the new Frame Plus video where he was talking about the animation in Sonic games, and something he pointed out was that, like, for Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, the animation is a lot better in that game than most modern Sonic games. I think we can all kind of, I don't know if we can all kind of agree on that, but I agree on that.
I do.
And it is partly down to the fact that their limbs are a little smaller and their heads are a little smaller, so it's more room for them to express. Like, if you've got giant hands, you can't go throwing your hands up in the air because else you'll bash your own head. Whereas if you've got smaller hands, and it's like the movies have given them smaller hands as well, and they're still big, but they're not fucking stupid, you know? Like, and it's one of those things where, from a design standpoint, I don't think the big hands are bad. But yes, from an animation standpoint, it's a fucking nightmare, unless you're willing to really stretch the fuck out of these limbs and stuff, which they don't. So it's like, if they want to have a rigid animation style, then they need smaller hands, you know?
Well, that's the thing about that's why I think taller modern Sonic works better, not just because I think it, I just like it, but because like I think it genuinely just makes the limbs easier to work with. And that's why, everyone hates on the Riders models, but I always like the Riders models. I know they look like Gumby, but they are able to like do things that
they animate really well
do in Heroes.
I really like his 06 design. Like, I've always kind of liked that a lot. And seeing some of the recent like Chaos X renders to coincide with like Project 06, I'm like, yeah, dude, I see the vision, man. It's a taller Sonic.
Yeah, I think the design is good. It was just that it, looked kind of shoddy.
I mean, in the game, yeah, he looks like a Muppet, but like.
But I think Chaos X shows that it's like, oh, this can really like work and be very. I don't know. I just think it, especially the shade of blue that he has in PO6 is just very clean.
And just how long his quills are and how impressive they look when in movement.
It reminds me of like a squid when his quills are that long, but it's like in a good way.
The thing is, I've been on the short quill brigade myself. Like, I made the controversial statement that I like the quill design of Sonic's model better in Frontiers than I do in the Generations Unleashed era. And I still do, because I do like that little 3-quill silhouette. It's good for branding. And, I just think it's nice and balanced. But again, like, I'm not someone who thinks we necessarily have to have new models. I just think we really need new rigs so that they can express better with their eyebrows. And we need, you either need a new animation style to work with those hands, or you need to shrink them. Just,
I mean, yeah, I think that'd be better. I don't know. I do believe that we just, not even that we need new models, but I think we really should have them at this point. I don't know. I'm comparing Sonic to, yeah, like, it's just by virtue of, do you want like Sonic to really like wow people? I would kind of prefer that, but I don't know. I think we're at the point where Sonic can look closer to how he did in like the Marza Unleashed intro, and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
that is certainly attainable. And that, I know that it's probably never going to get to like, Insomniac, like Ratchet AAA levels of like fur detail or anything like that. But that's okay. I just really think, I don't know. I always see like fans coming up with like these new versions of Sonic models on Twitter.com, and I'm like, God damn, I really want.
I don't even need them to like change the design as such. I just need them to make it just a more versatile model. I mean, thinking about where we're at now as well, there's no reason why Sonic can't move his mouth side to side properly without it just snapping.
Yeah.
Dream Team did it, you know.
Have you
I think it looks fine,
played VR chat?
Yeah.
I've indulged in it a little bit. Not much,
I've played I've been playing around with it more recently, and I've been getting these Sonic models, and the first thing I noticed when I got this like shadow model that I really liked, but it's based on the Generations model, and so I get it, and I'm like, holy God, the hands are so big, and when I'm using it in the headset, I'm like, these hands almost like kind of block my eyesight. They're so big. I don't know how Shadow does it, frankly. And that's that. Then I realized, I guess that's just how the design is. And you try to think about it realistically, it kind of falls apart. But
you
like,
were never meant to be Shadow, Jeb.
yeah, I guess not.
Those
But I
shoes
He
still
were
needs
never
those
for me.
hands to hold weapons.
I still skate around on the kitchen floor with my socks, so it's.
I have to admit, I might do that a little bit too. You got a smooth floor, you got to do it. Like.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like
sorry, go on.
either like Risky Business or Shadow the Hedgehog. There's no in between.
So, we got another bit of potential news, and this is kind of a leak, but like, so allegedly there is a Sonic Heroes remake on the horizon. Now, allegedly it's been debunked a little bit, but by debunked we mean it went from it's in production to Sega are seriously considering it. But there really isn't a source for this.
I mean, yeah, the only source that there is just someone who is known to be reliable. But like, I don't know if you guys remember, but there is like the whole like Sonic Colors Ultimate. I believe there was like an article about it that pretty much got almost everything exactly right about how Sonic Colors Ultimate was doing.
I mean, I thought that the Colors Ultimate thing was initially revealed because a website had like listings for like buy.
No, I think there were leaks too.
Well, there was, but there was also another like thing that talked about like details about how like there would be the movie Sonic electricity stuff in it. The game was like unplayable in 2019 or whatever the hell, and so it had to be delayed till 2020, which we could look at it and be like,
It really gave it the TLC it needed.
By
By they, I mean Blue Wolf Blitz. Like...
It would have customizable shoes and gloves and stuff, which they said would tie into Frontiers, which is like pseudo true. And it was like, yeah.
I suppose Zipper has been on the money more often than not. But I suppose also, I remember saying, there's no way Sonic X Shadow Generations is real and is actually called that. You guys are fucking kidding. And I remember, I was like, my first reaction was, well, shit. My second reaction was, oh my God! Like, then the excitement set in.
The ever crazy thing, that leak for Colors Ultimate, that came from an anonymous source on... I don't know if I should say the website name. I don't want them to get bombarded by the Sunset City fans. No, but it was like an anonymous source, and they would corroborate. And this is back when the Adventure remake rumors were happening. They were like, well, yeah, those aren't a thing. They were like shelved at one point, but it was like a thing that they were really considering making a thing. And I bet you that that's the case with Heroes as well, where that is something that they're like considering, as it seems like they are just more likely to look into remasters and even remakes at this point. But
my inclination towards remakes though was high after Forces, but after Frontiers, I'm like, just give me the next one. Don't split your team up. Just give me the next one. Let me see what's coming up.
mm-hmm.
Let me see if you're going to be better next time.
Oh yeah, now my stance is well, I guess personally it doesn't really matter what I want. I'm starting to approach nihilism with Sonic.
You've been left behind.
But
Yeah, I was about to say you do matter, Jeb.
Yeah, you matter. You've been left behind, but you matter.
But yeah, like
we've
I
got to
don't
pick
know,
you back up.
if I do get like a remake, like an actual full remake, that would be at least a little intriguing for me. You know, these remasters though, I never feel happy with them with these. So I don't know.
Heroes needs a remake. It can't just have a remaster, I think. Like, because the controls are ass. There's a lot in that game that is ass. All right?
Yeah, I don't think that a remaster would really. Yeah, I'm not engaging.
You'll need to admit it.
Well, no, I'll say that the speed controls are ass, but
Yeah,
that's why I switched to flying.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually like Heroes, all things considered. But it is one of those things where, like, my problems with Heroes are not too dissimilar to my problems with Forces, where it's like, see these things here, you got them right a game ago, what's going on here? Like, that's my big thing with Forces, is like, I could actually forgive so much were it not for the fact that it's worse than Generations, you know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's always like, anytime there's like wiggle room of like this Sonic game controls better than that one, but not so much this one. I'm like, why did we have this like just right in 1998 and 2001, and we still, struggle to get it there?
Literally,
just
it's like,
there. Like
I remember the conversation surrounding Frontiers, like, they finally got like controlling for Sonic right this time, and I do like the controls for Frontiers, but I was like, I understand also it's hard to make a platformer about a fast fella happen in 3D. I get it, but they did get it right out of the gate. They didn't need to spend all this time trying to get it right when they literally, the first time around, nailed it.
And you play, like, I think in the open zone it works fine, and I'm pretty content with Frontier's open zone control. But like, I play Cyberspace and I'm like, how did this happen? Like, really? I don't know.
The big thing with Cyberspace for me especially is the turning speed. I just do not see why they locked that. Like,
yeah.
I will say this, allowing us to have that carry jump momentum thing, like jump deceleration switched off, and allowing us to have the spin dash in Cyberspace gave that whole thing a new lease on life for me, but like, I still do not understand why they won't let us adjust the turn radius.
I hate the freaking weird ass like Castlevania. No, it's like, you know how like in Mario 64, sometimes when you turn around, he'll do like a U-turn. That's like what Sonic does when jumping and turning in cyberspace.
Oh yeah, the jump. Except that was in 1996, and this is 2023. 22?
The thing is, though, I don't think the jump turning is any different in cyberspace to what it is in the open zone. It's just probably less noticeable in the open zone because it's a less confined space, I guess.
Are you sure?
I don't think it's any different because I noticed that the turning radius for Sonic's jump in the open zone is also ass. It's one of those things where I genuinely think the only difference between cyberspace Sonic and open zone Sonic is the turn radius being locked. That's all I think there is. I might be wrong about this. I know that I had some arguments with Nick about this, but like, I genuinely think it is just the turning radius that's different.
It was really funny too, because I was playing like Final Horizon, and I like, I just played like a bunch of open zone stuff. I waited as long as I could to really like touch any cyberspace stuff there. And then when I get in, I'm like, I think the first one I did, was like that race against the like Shadow Tails thing.
Yeah.
And I looked like a freaking idiot because I was just like spinning. I looked like I was maybe playing with one hand. I just felt
Was it in the Green Hill Zone or was it in Chemical Plant?
Yeah, it was in Green Hill.
The Green Hill. Okay, I still haven't actually beaten that cyberspace stage yet myself. Just because the bit at the end with the falling platforms fucks me every time.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, they need to get it so that I can actually predict what the spin dash is going to do in every stage. Not just like some stages work for spin dash, some don't. I need them to like have it so that I know exactly what this thing is going to do. Because that is what made the old games work, is that you could trust the physics. And in this, I'm not 100% sure I trust the spin dash yet, but I do like
it's
it.
It's like a gamble every time as to whether it's going to send you so high into the air that you don't know where you're going to land, or it just sends you like on an angle sort of forwards.
Or then you can like skid
I
along
sorta
the
like it.
invisible ceiling as well.
Sorta.
As a possibility.
It's funny. It's very funny that it's so ridiculously broken.
Well, that's like I want like okay. This is the question with Sonic like remasters and remakes. Everyone always asks, "Oh, do you want an adventure remake?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure, but like I don't really trust them for it. Why would I trust them for an adventure remake when I don't trust them for an open zone game or hell even, you know, just something less than that?" And it's just like, I don't know. I think it's kind of, I mean, this is a bit controversial, but I think it is, I don't know if this has been talked about on the show before, but like, is it fair to say that maybe talent-wise, it's just different now? I mean, it's not really just so much a matter of time, because if the controls are still really weird in like the regular main games that take quite a while to make, I'm not really sure what about it being adventure would really solve that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
It's I
because
try
if it's
not
a
to
matter
make...
of looking back at what worked before, that should apply all the time. You know.
I do agree. I try not to make assessments of like any talent because it's just something I cannot possibly quantify. But it is one of those things where it is like, yeah, how did we get a Forces when we had a Generations? How did we get a Heroes when we had an Adventure, and so on and so forth? I tell you
that's
what,
like the matter of, I don't necessarily want to say like, well, they just suck, but like I think it is fair to say to just not really trust it, let's say.
Not trusting kind of the current development team based on the track record. I can get it. It's just I do try to refrain from bringing any kind of development team into it just because I cannot know and I cannot quantify it. I have just no control over that knowledge, so I try to generally avoid it myself. But I suppose here's a fun little thing. Like a Sonic game I would want a remake of. I'm going to pitch two here, okay? One of them is Colors, all right? This is getting really weird. Give me a remake of Colors,
Again?
but it's an open zone game. Imagine the fucking theme parks as open zones. That'd be sick. And then
that would be
cool.
And then, okay, so Frontiers, I love you. Make it again. Like, give me Frontiers, but you've completely overhauled the entire aesthetic of the game.
I will be a happy pup. But have you heard of the final dimension where the entire game is different?
The final horizon.
Update 6.
Update 6. This time it's $60, and in fact it's sold at retail, so it's not even an update.
This time with draw distance sliders.
They'll just do like a Frontiers definitive at some point.
And look, Sonic's eyebrows can move.
I always thought, like, because I mean, Dylan, I've talked to you about this, but like I'm obviously working on a little Sonic fan short project right now, but I always think about like ways I would love to adapt existing Sonic stories into like films and stuff. And I've thought all about how I would love to adapt a Frontiers thing, and you'd have like a shot showing that the grass is like flickering on and off because the place is devastated, but all the foliage just flickers on and off because it's like remnants of the cyberspace and shit. And that would be a little reference to the pop-in and stuff like that. And I just, man, They could have done that. They could have like justified that, but it is what it is. But I mean, they did, didn't they? Because there's that bit where Sage is like, "Oh yeah, no, it only appears because you're close to it."
It appears because you specifically, Sonic, are close to it, and it's based on your like brain waves.
And the ancients made it that way. I fucking hate the ancients. The end was right.
Yeah, we don't know why the end wiped out their planet, but I think it's pretty fair to
They're
see.
hacks.
They're hacks.
See, they were too old. He was trying to establish like a new beginning.
No, he saw the end was going for a little visit on their planet, and he saw something off in the distance that he wanted to get to, but it was too far away for him to see it. And he was like, "Fuck this." And
The
he
end
just bombed
knew
the
that if
place.
these fuckers like colonized the universe, we're in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, but
So
they're also like,
he's trying to nip that in the butt.
they're so unlikable as well. They're like, oh, Sonic, so you want to avenge us, do you? Here, fight this squirrel. It's like, fuck off. I'm doing you a favor, you pricks.
Ellie
Like,
Acorns in the game?
she's not a squirrel.
It's close enough.
A chipmunk.
Okay.
She might as well just be a squirrel. It's
But
fine.
I hate the fucking ancients, is what I'm trying to say here. I fucking think they are the worst. And I love
I don't-
Sonic Frontiers, but these ancients can fuck off. Like,
I don't think they did anything wrong, really.
they
I think
did
they
a
were
lot
just trying to
fucking wrong.
survive.
First of all, they made Green Hill Zone. Secondly,
No, they didn't.
they made Poppin. Thirdly, your architecture's shit. Fuck off. And fourthly,
They made
you
Poppin'.
guys are a bunch of assholes. Like,
And you know
I
what?
fucking love that.
Until further notice, I'm inclined to believe that they called themselves the Ancients even back then, which makes them like these pompous douchebags. I hate them.
They're very pretentious.
so yeah, fuck you, ancients. Lyric was a better ancient than you fuckers. Fuck you all.
I forget a lot
unironically
that he was
believe
also
that,
called an ancient.
He was the original ancient.
The,
God.
the son of the original A.
I suppose we should talk about Sonic Frontiers.
Ugh.
We have been talking about.
Shut up, Dylan. Just shut up, alright? Just shut up.
Okay,
I don't know where we even begin.
sorry.
I do not know where to begin. That's the thing.
How about at the beginning?
Okay. So Eggman, right? He arrives.
He was born.
And then he says,
some
I'm
point.
here. Okay, so no, I don't, fuck. My brain is farting right now. Dylan, do you reckon you can carry this for a second?
No.
But you don't fart. You can't.
Okay, alright, listen, okay. Alright, so first, one thing I want to mention about Frontiers is actually super interesting to me, and that your video reminded me of, Jeb, is that Sage was not, like, fully created and designed by Eggman. I completely forgot about that from the beginning of the game. So that's why when, like, for a lot of the game, I was confused, because he was always like, oh,
Surprised that
fucking
she's a
whatever,
little girl.
figure this shit out, and, you know, like, treating her like a whatever, and, like, why would you make, a funny little baby AI character if you didn't want to deal with it, you know? But then
Yeah.
I was
So why
like,
did
oh
he
shit,
give
he
her-
didn't do that on purpose.
Why did you give her the same hairstyle as Amy? What's going on here? What is this? Nick.
What are you trying to say?
He
thinks she's
Amy as his
stylish, I don't know.
daughter, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's the actually, I think when I was looking, because I watched a lot of Japanese cutscenes. I didn't sit there and watch the whole thing, but I specifically was looking at what Eggman has to say to Sage, because that's actually pretty different in Japan. And I think at one point he says something that more overtly implies that she was made this way by something.
Yeah, so
but we
Yeah,
haven't really
in the
know
database.
what.
in the game is that basically when she went into cyberspace, she was granted a humanoid form. Which I think, did you say in your video that she should surely look like an ancient then in that case? Or something? Like,
Well, I said, like, yeah, well, that's kind of weird. Why does she look like a human if that is the case?
Yeah.
I feel like this means that the ancients probably were originally meant to look more elfy or
we
something.
want to
like
stay dead. We don't want to bring another ancient in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically their
It's a good
entire
point.
reason in
What,
that game.
oh, dude, what if she was like a little chaos creature? That would have been fun. Like a little. She could have been like a little weird chow.
Even if her skin just looked like it was made of water, that would actually be quite interesting. The thing is, I do like Sage's design, but I do also agree that if we are to believe that this was created by cyberspace, then it needs to look like the product of that cyberspace. Here's a thing that I think was going on, is one thing I extrapolated from your video a little bit was, like, I was like, how does this impact my judgment on Ian Flynn as a writer? Because I adore what he did with Archie. And I really like the stuff he's done with IDW. And this, whether I like it or not, is quite sloppy. And the thing I thought was, well, here's the thing, is Ian Flynn is a great writer. And this game proves it to me in that he didn't just have to write the story of the game in this. He was basically handed a fucking beta test and told, turn this into a game. Like, contextualize everything.
Yeah.
We've got fucking
Put everything together.
static rails floating in the sky. Fucking explain it. You see that rock thing over there? What's that? What is that, Ian? Ian, what's this fucking web? What is that, Ian? You see that fucking temple over there? What's that do, Ian? Like, the fucking design of this game leaned way too hard on Ian Flynn explaining what shit was. And I think the same goes for, like, Sage. There's no congruency between her and cyberspace from a design standpoint. There's not really any visual evidence or visual feedback on that. Ian's basically just been given this fucking child of cyberspace and been like, okay, yeah, she's the fucking child of cyberspace, I guess. Like, and my hat is off to him for making as much of it work as he could, even down to the fucking heads-up display getting an explanation. What's that all about? But, like...
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
on Ares Island, Sonic's like, what's all this white shit in my eyes? And he's like, oh, that's just that's the cyberspace, the ancients, you know, that's the ancients.
Oh my god.
They did that.
Okay, all right.
Pretty much all the islands, I'm pretty sure there's one interaction with the designated friend where he'll be like, hey, so I see a little question mark thing. Do you see that? And Tails like, yeah, you know, the ancients put that there. It's like,
in
what?
their
Really?
language, it was
so
something
funny.
else. On their world.
It's really funny to me that they do that because I really didn't consider a lot of this shit, and I didn't actually like. I thought I got most of the interactions when I played it originally, you know. But like in your video, and I think it's some stuff I missed in the Final Horizon as well. But I seem to have missed a lot of like those little technical explanations that I probably would have been like, why did they feel the need to contextualize the fact that there's Poppin'? Like, that seems very lazy.
That's the other thing, though.
Or
is they are
overachieving. It's like, I don't know.
They're using Ian Flynn to provide the game with a sense of immersion. And here's the thing. Again, I want to stress, I love Sonic Frontiers. I'll go into why I adore this game as much as I do. But the game is a crippling, visceral, immersive failure on just about every conceivable level, be it visual, audio, or anything else. And yeah, I did mention audio because the guy can be running on air and he'll still have footsteps. But that's that one detail. But here's the thing, is like, it doesn't matter to me that there's an in-universe explanation for a fucking heads-up display. It matters to me that I'm running through the forest, la la la, oh, there's a pixelated tree. Goody. That's immersion,
it's because the world is still being created from your mind, Sonic. That's why it's not done rendering yet.
The ancients
Well, that's like
didn't
the
finish.
immersion comes from like all these weird like things to focus on, and it just misses the like textbook immersion of just like, how about the thing doesn't look, you know, like
bad,
really weird and terrible. I don't know, like.
And that's the thing, is there are explanations for it. There aren't excuses, in my opinion, but there are explanations. But what it boils down to is, ask me to describe the look of Sonic Frontiers. It looks fuck ugly. It's a fucking ugly-ass game. This game is fucking hideous. This game's disgusting to look at. Do I adore it? Yeah. But it's fucking disgusting. It's like that chick that got a nice body, but her face is disgusting, so you don't look her in the eye while you're plowing her. Sonic Frontiers is a game I would make sweet love to with the lights on, but I'll marry her. I'll fucking marry her. But I'm making love with the lights off.
You have such a way with words, man.
Thank you, buddy.
But wait a minute, I don't want to turn the lights off. I think the game looks worse when it's during the night cycle.
Oh, dude, brother. Yeah, I've never seen nighttime.
I use the mod loader code
ugly.
to not let it turn nighttime anymore, because I fucking don't like it when it's dark.
I tell you, the one time nighttime looked good was during the final boss of Final Horizon, when the sky's all purple and shit. That looked cool, but like every other nighttime, like, ugh. I remember like seeing the Starfall Islands and like thinking, it'll probably look better at night when it's all lit up, and I saw night, I was like, ew.
Yeah.
It's lit up with the fucking like slot machine lights, and you're like, wow, this is probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
I actually like it with the slot machine light thing period up, because I'm like,
Dude, as soon as they said I could turn that off, I was like, goodbye, never come back.
The slot machine can go fuck itself, but the little star bits emanating lights, I'm like, oh, that's kind of colorful. Like, I was like, oh, now it looks good. Okay. That's a pixelated tree, isn't it?
God,
Oh, fuck.
there's so many little things. Or I know this is jumping ahead a little bit, but okay. So I think one of your big points in your video was talking about how frequently they reference things and how like blatant it is. It's like, wow, you remember that waterfall in fucking Mystic Ruins? And you made a very good point about as opposed to what other waterfalls we've seen. Look at all these other ones. You know, and it's like I understand what you mean, right? Like I know a lot of people have ragged on the writing for that. I've ragged on the writing for it because I think at some point it becomes really overbearing that they're just going, guys, guess what? Guys, guess what? It matters again. But when I was playing it, I was kind of like, I was sort of in between because I was like, I'm really happy that they're using this stuff and showing us that, like, hey, this is stuff that we're going to care about and the stuff that matters again, like as opposed to before when they were just using it to go, hey guys, chaos is in this game, but I hope you don't want to fight them. You know, they were using it as like a weapon. Now, it feels a little bit more like they were like, hey, we're not doing a reboot, but we're sort of introducing all of these concepts again. So going forward, you know what matters. And I'm hoping that like in the next, and I know this goes back to it being a beta test, like we were saying, I'm hoping that in the next one and the future titles, they're not going to be like, wow, do you remember when we, you know, fought Neo Metal Sonic? You know, like again, they just like they reminded us that this stuff matters, and now they can just let it be in the past and then build on top of it. So I like it for that reason, but I also definitely acknowledge that it is a really weird and, like, frankly, generic way to do that, because, like, it does feel like, oh shit, lasers? Yeah, I remember those from the egg carrier, and it's like, dude, shut up. Don't you fucking say stuff like that.
Is the one that's like, the grass is so lush and green. Kind of reminds me of Green Forest.
It's literally grass, bro. Like
Green Forest. The
Green Forest
location Sonic ran through at the speed of light because the island was about to blow up. A place he can't even visit again because it's dead. It's cinder.
And then
if he said Green Hill, I would have been like, yeah, I guess.
But then
green,
like,
it really is just like, oh, it's grass, it's green, it's in a forest. What's the a green forest? All right, done. Next line. Like,
very cool.
Then like there's the bit in like Ares Island where he's like, makes me want some of the curry from Shamar. I'm like, man, remember when they had gift shops in Sonic games? That was awesome. I would love a gift shop around.
Okay,
here. Give me a gift
that
shop.
one I could possibly give at least a little bit.
No, I'm not even complaining about it.
I'm
not even complaining about that. I'm just like, man, they should have had a fucking gift shop with food. Like that would have.
Yeah, because that one feels like that's like him referencing like a real, like in air quotes, a real world location instead of a video game level. You know.
But there's a reason why these felt like real world locations was because they had gift shops. That's the only reason. That's the sole reason. I love the gift shops in Unleashed.
But the second best one is also like these balloons blow in from Spagonia, like.
Okay, yeah,
completely fucking
that
different.
one sucks a little more.
Where is this? Where are the fucking Starfall Islands in reference to Spagonia?
I was under the impression they weren't even fucking real. Like it was all fake. Like it was all a cyber thing, but it's not, right?
The Bermuda Triangle.
We might get a Sonic like world map one of these days, which shows all this shit. Please. And I'm sure there'll be a bunch of contradictions in there, and then we'll be worrying about it like the Hyrule Historian.
But you have to zoom in to see the Starfall Islands because they haven't loaded in yet.
It's an E map. Awesome.
Oh god.
I suppose. All right. I want to begin with my thesis statement. Okay. I want to begin with my thesis statement. Okay. So I think something that you said in your video. I'm accusing you now. You said this. You said that Sonic Frontiers is like the phrase "We'll be better next time" made flesh. Here's why it's okay in my opinion. Yeah, you're promising me you'll do better this time. Next time. You're promising me you'll do better next time. But you didn't fucking slap me this time. I loved you this time. You know? It's okay if you want to be better next time because I loved you this time.
it works if you did like it this time.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I did. Like, it's one of those things where if you're presenting me something I like and then saying the next one's gonna be even better, that is okay by me. But the thing is, you can also run into like Amazing Spider-Man 2 syndrome, which I do like that movie. I want to make that clear. I went on a whole arc of going from hating it to liking it, but you can't hinge your entire existence on we will do better next time. And I get that perspective completely, and I get the feeling that's probably maybe kind of the boat you're in, Jeb. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know you, man. But like
certainly. Which is actually that's funny. I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 at some point like last year. And I hate to say this, guys, and I'm sure this will be clipped somewhere, but I do see everything through the lens of Sonic, as much as I will accuse people of being too Sonic pilled. And I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I was like, I think I like this more than Sonic Frontiers, and then I went to bed and slept very nicely that night.
Dude, golly.
Wait, you like
be
Amazing
fair.
Spider-Man 2 the movie more than Sonic Frontiers the video game?
It's true.
To be fair, though,
Yes.
my point of
Okay.
reference for all entertainment is this would work well as a Zack Snyder movie, and I would love it. Like, that is my point of... If I'm comparing anything to being good, I'm like, how well would this work as a Zack Snyder thing?
Well, yeah,
You were
it's
out of
like,
control, man.
Shut up, man.
I don't know. That's the kind of thing with Frontiers where I'm like, yeah, I would. The promise of next time, of like the future, it certainly is admirable, but I just think that this time is so, we'll say, half-hearted. No, I don't even want to say half-hearted, but just barren. Very much like I don't really find it promising personally. So
No, that's
it's
fair.
just like
Shall
like
we
that.
talk-
It's
Sorry, go
kind of like 7 Remake, for example. I mean, I obviously don't really like 7 Remake, but 7 Remake is like, I think this really shows a lot of potential for the following games to expand off already a pretty decent, baseline of just how everything works. And so then when I look at like Rebirth, and Rebirth is this like really big game, it's like, oh man, that's fucking crazy, right? And so therefore, like, I can kind of understand why people were a lot more down to wait and see in that regard, because the first time it felt worth it,
I guess I'll
Mhm.
before we kind of move on to the story, because I do still want that to be the main meat. The reason
Yeah.
I do enjoy Sonic Frontiers is because while I do admit that the Starfall Islands are a fucking L and like all that, like, I think there's a lot that Sonic Frontiers does very right for me. For one, I think this thing was going to live and die based on how much I enjoy movement. And I think the basic movement the game gives you from the get-go is fine. I do like it. When I made my own thing with the sliders, I was like, oh boy, this is beautiful. And it shouldn't be the kind of thing that I get from a slider. I kind of feel like that is kind of more how it should be. But, like, still, like, it's there for me. I could play it with that. And I played the game through with that, and I loved it. I think the individual things I'm doing, I enjoy. I like the idea that the Sonic levels are now like these toy boxes, where it's like, you've got an island, which is this toy box of different little bite-sized Sonic-y level bits and pieces there. You can, do this platforming bit, you can grind these rails, and you get little rewards for it. It's like you completed the level, you get the reward, and then you put your coins in the Amy machine, and she says, hey, Green Hill, remember that? And then, you move on from there. Do I think it is a bit too reliant on Amy machine? Yeah, I do think it's a bit too reliant on pop the coin in the Amy machine. But, like, I don't think that's a bad structure, and everything I'm doing there I'm enjoying. Even with cyberspace, while I really wish we could just... Green Hill, fuck off! I also wish the controls were better in cyberspace too. I still enjoyed it, and I still replay them a lot. And the puzzles, I can kind of give or take, but I don't dislike them. They're inoffensive to me. And it's just like, all these bits you've got down here work for me. Emerald hunting works for me. You've got your structure down, that's really great. I really like the controls. So basically, with everything I was doing, I was enjoying myself, except pinball, that can fuck itself. But everything else, I was just having a good time with Frontiers. Then we had the fucking boss fights where I just, oh my goodness, I ascended. Like, And I realize that Kellen, Quinn, and Otani are doing a lot of the heavy lifting with those boss fights. I get it. And I also get that a lot of this is cutscenes as well, which fade to black beforehand because it's still 2007. But, like, again, it's like, my god, you are doing a fucking awful job of doing some of the greatest shit I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. And that's why I love Sonic Frontiers. Like, it does feel like a fucking college project. But you've got so much in here that I'm just like, hey, man, I'm having a good fucking time, dude. Would I have a better time if you put, like, even a smidge of polish on it? Hell yeah, I would. We'll save that for next time, I guess. You'll be better next time.
Just a smidge, just a little bit of polish.
Just a tiny little lick of polish
As a
on it
treat.
next time. As a treat. Yeah. If we can have just a teeny tiny bit of artistic congruency next time, oh, that will really butter my croissant, I tell you.
Well, that's really like the thing, like with the. I remember when I first played the. Oh, okay. There's a garbage truck outside. I apologize for that.
I don't hear it. It's fine.
The
Yeah, don't
garbage
worry about
truck is coming. They're like, watch what you're about to say. Remember.
They
what
know
this
we're talking
game
about
is."
Sonic Frontiers.
When I was playing the Titan bosses for the first time, I was like, whoa, that really did surprise me. It truly did. But then I play it like again, and I'm like, I really hate to feel. I don't like to be like this, but I do kind of feel like it's carried by the music. And even like the cutscenes that are really cool, especially like Wyvern. I really like the cutscenes, the little scenes in Wyvern. But I fucking hate the frame rate. I hate how they like make it. It's cinematic. It's not 60 FPS, but it just looks so. I don't know, so much choppier.
The thing is also, like, even if it didn't have the fade to black, it needs it, because otherwise Sonic is just going to suddenly appear. There's no connectivity between cutscene and gameplay, which pisses me off. Because it is like, we live in the age of the solid state drive. We're seeing video games that seamlessly bring us from cutscene to gameplay, and it's a beautiful thing. And remember when Sonic 3 and Knuckles did that? That was fucking awesome.
Because it's like, mechanically, I really actually don't like these boss fights. But then, I actually, for one thing, I do like that you are finally able to play Supersonic and he just controls like normal, and it's not some new thing you have to learn where you have to ascend the Z-axis. But I don't know, it's still just like this is the highlight of the game for me, but it's so like kind of like superficial. I very much see it. I see the vibe, and I wish that vibe could really like reach that potential. That's the only thing that I just wish. The big good takeaway of this game for me is that I wish the next game was this kind of like crackhead energy all the time. That's right.
Like,
Constantly. Yeah, no, I feel that.
A litmus test for me is like the true final, but the Final Horizon final boss, the Supreme X the End collab, It is, in my opinion, the fucking coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I think it's amazing, and I love it and adore it, and will give it all the 10 out of 10s I could give. But at the same time, I also feel like there needs to be a way more logical way to get that umbilical cord off of his head, and I want the trees to fucking die. But, like, everything else, I'm like, my goodness, golly gracious, oh lordy. And again, the music is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
In this house. We stand trees.
Also, that little fucking ring-style crawl that he does at you is awesome. It's cool. I think that's awesome.
That genuinely scared me.
You made a robot look like a fucking scary eldritch horror, and that's impressive to me. Like, Kishimoto, if this gaming thing doesn't work out, get into horror movies, man.
I mean, he's inspired. That much is true.
I was thinking, like, imagine if we got, like, fucking Spider-Man fight scenes like this. Like, have a black suit Spider-Man movie.
You imagine if Sonic Frontiers took place in the Sniderverse? That would be insane.
Dude, it might as fucking well with those boss fights, buddy. Like, they go hard in a way that I thought only Zack Snyder could offer.
I really want to see the, like, I guess, ethical debate between, IDW Sonic and Batfleck. I really want to see what the dichotomy is.
I want Shadow the Hedgehog to become Batfleck, in that we've got his vengeful arc. He uses guns and shit, and then he's enlightened by Sonic, and then he's a nice dude, and he's telling fucking Cyborg that it was his destiny to fly, in which he's telling, I don't know, someone else that. And, yeah, I get, and that's Archie's shadow, by the way. So give me that. Give me...
I really want Shadow to be like, I don't not. And it'll be...
No, fuck off. Don't give me the Whedon shit. What are you doing, Jeb?
He did want to kill Eggman when he was, he had his amnesia. Remember? He was like, I'm gonna get rid of him when he's not a threat. Sonic was like, yeah, but maybe he won't ever be a threat again. And then he fucking, like, turns the world into a zombie apocalypse for a while.
Imagine he's gonna kill Sonic.
I would have been like, you know, man, you're right. You were right.
Imagine he's gonna fucking kill Sonic, and Sonic is just like, you're letting him kill Maria. All right. And he's like, why did you say that name?
Why did
Oh, dude.
Exactly.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Dude, I pray they put that in Sonic Movie 3. It didn't need to.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Like,
if Zack Snyder directed a Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation, you would see Maria get capped. And you'd get the most perfect, gorgeous recreation of that shot of Sonic and Shadow by the fucking red bridge thingy. And, like, it would be, oh, man, he would take it seriously. He would
if
take
Zack
it
Snyder
seriously.
directed Sonic 3, I think we'd see like Shadow's pod come up and Shadow's like arms would be stretched out like it's the cross, and it'd just be fantastic. I'd want to
he's been crucified.
I mean, yeah, give me Shadow Jesus imagery, okay? I would love that. I would genuinely love that. I was also gonna say, like, Jeb, like a big, like, so why the Sonic Frontiers story works for me. It's the things that I prioritize in fiction, and you can tell a lot about me when I tell you that one of my favorite directors of all time is fucking Zack Snyder. In which case, a lot of those plot details and the things that would make those movies make sense do fall at the wayside. They just go fucking hard, don't they? Like, that's kind of...
I mean, hey,
it's something I
really
prioritize.
love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, and it has nothing to do with the fact that it's not Justice League, you know? So I don't know. I see it.
The Justice League?
What is going on here? What do you mean? What, do you like the Justice League now or something, Jeb? What's going on here?
The Justice League? That's so fucking funny.
Is this the first time you heard that?
Really?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to this stuff because I don't like the movie very much.
Gotta get you.
No, yeah, I like the Snyder cut. I was like, goddamn, this is really cool. I really kind of would like more stuff that feels more realized like this. But anyway,
he's so sincere about it. That's the thing, is there's no joke. There's no that just happened. He's so fucking sincere. They just fought a big
I do like that idea. I can see when you put it like that, the difference between the Marvel, you know, what Marvel has become to, you know, where it's everything is a joke, no matter if it's not a joke or not. Like one scene I can remember specifically from Thor: Love and Thunder is when Jane Foster is telling Thor that she's dying of cancer, and like I'm kind of waiting for someone to make a joke during the scene, not because I think it deserves to, not because I think there should be a joke there, but because every single scene and every sentence in that movie is a joke. Like, I think that's a problem. Like, compared to the ones you're talking about, I do understand, like, it does take itself very seriously, and I like that.
So many people...
I do like that idea.
So many people were like, oh, Zack Snyder's disrespectful to the source material, Zack Snyder's movies are cynical and stuff. And I'm like, you want to talk about cynical? You want to talk about disrespectful to the source material? Fucking Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't care that it's quote-unquote fun. It's shit. Get it out of here.
Well, I
was so disappointed.
Movies are also fun in their own way, so I don't know.
Dude, they are. Like, who?
Yeah, no, they have fun moments, definitely.
Who the hell watched Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and got to the Doomsday fight and thought this wasn't fun? Because you're either dead inside or you're a woman. Like, there's just it's so fucking manly. I wanted to fuck the shit out of the little pussy bitch boy next to me. It was that manly. I'm quoting James Gunn when I say that, but I genuinely thought that tweet was hilarious.
James Gunn said that?
No, so he said it about so when they were trying to cancel James Gunn over old tweets and stuff, one of them was, he said, The Expendables 3 was so manly I wanted to fuck the shit out of the little bitch boy next to me. And I was like, how are we canceling him over that? That's just fucking funny. That's just really funny. And he was like, oh, I want to do a remake of The Giving Tree, except it's got a happy ending where the tree gives the kid a blowjob. And I'm like, that's fucking funny. It's called The Giving Tree.
Not cancelable, it's based.
That's funny.
I've never heard these. I didn't know why they tried to cancel him before. I didn't know that was why.
That was why. It's like they tried to cancel him for being fucking hilarious, basically. I mean, some of them aren't good. Some of them are not good. Some of them are a little bit of a doozy. But, like, those ones are fucking hilarious. Why are you bringing that up? Like, just fucking directing more movies in that case.
My whole life just changed hearing that.
Yes, chat, I'm a Snider fan and I like James Gunn. Get over it, okay? They're both great.
Holy shit.
Finally, harmony.
This is what it's all about. I love Sonic Frontiers. You don't love Sonic Frontiers. You know, it's all about we hear each other.
Yeah,
You're
we're all
balancing,
about
yeah.
the-
You're fucking. Are you wrong? No. Yes. No. Of course not.
both.
What?
What? Shut up, Dylan.
What did I say?
Dylan, just shut up, or else I'm gonna get over this table and give you a little kiss. All right?
All right.
Okay. So Sonic Frontiers plot. All right. So I don't know.
How the fuck do we jump from there to that? That's...
I'm taking on a big challenge here, just like Ian Flynn writing for Sonic Frontiers. The big...
Can I? So about the plot and the writing, I know I already mentioned the references thing. I think it's very funny, but also very stupid. I think one of the funniest things that you brought up, Jeb, and something that I thought was stupid as well when I saw it, is the Sage like montage scene with the shitty like that shit. But the fact that in your video, you were like, could you imagine if that happened in Sonic 06? And you did the fucking Dreams of an Absolution cut with the I was losing my shit. I was like, that's like, I'm a huge Silver fan. I was just popping off. That was fucking so funny to me.
So
I think you're right. Like, I would have been like, this is fucking stupid.
I need to talk about that. Like, so. Right? Okay. So,
you're so right, though.
I'm gonna hurt myself in saying this. Okay, so you wanna know what my first reaction was when I saw the Sage scene? For one, I was already moved by the little Sonic scene before that, where Tails like, I'm gonna fuck off, and Sonic's like, oh man, you grew up on me a little faster than I was expecting. But, like, yeah,
alright, bye.
You go, little bro. Like, that shit did move me. And Sage being all teary-eyed, like, oh, it's a family born of love. I was like, oh man, that's moving. That's genuinely moving to me. Then we got the fucking Sage montage. And you know what my thought was as I was watching this play out? I was not watching it. I wasn't really listening to it. I was only thinking to myself, holy shit, that's a montage in a Sonic game. Are they trying again? Oh my god! You're using a cinematic technique to tell the story. Oh, we're out of the woods now, boys. We are so out of the woods. Colors, forces is history. We're out of the woods.
Okay.
We got a
All
montage in a Sonic game.
I will give you the fact that that is a thing that you don't remember seeing, like that we don't have, and that's a new thing for this. And I understand what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I came back to it. I was like, okay, it's kind of funny though.
Jeb, I gotta give it to you, because like I thought the exact same thing. I was like, these scenes were like 2 minutes long. There are 3 of them, and nothing happened. Like, all of the important stuff apparently happened off screen.
Yeah,
and they're just standing there.
Well, that's
talking,
the thing.
and it's
I do mean this sincerely. I really did have to ask if this was meant to be funny, because I honestly thought, is this meant to be ironic in that showing that all her memories are in one's, like, standing in one place? It's not.
I think, yeah, like, I think it was something Ian...
Wow.
I think it was something Ian meant to be very sincere, if that was his idea, but, like, there's not enough material there. Like, I think the closest they get to it being, like meaningful is when she saves his life from those fucking, like, attack helicopters.
Yeah.
You know, like, she puts the shield in front of him. But, like, other than that, it does feel like a parody almost, because it's like the song's so, like, I know she's supposed to be like a child.
It's dumb.
But, like, it's so goofy because she doesn't behave. I mean, she behaves somewhat like a child, but not very often, especially with the way she speaks.
She's not like a dumb fuck playing with building blocks going, la la la.
She is sort of presented as... She almost reminds me of, like, I think I could say it as, like Starfire from Teen Titans, if she didn't know anything at all, like, even less. But she had, like, a lot of knowledge of, like, computers or whatever. That's what it feels like to me. So it's like, it's just really weird that they try to do that. Like, I do like the dynamic by the end of the game, but I don't think
It's not.
it's very earned.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
I see. That was the thing. Is I was just happy to see an attempt was being made, and I didn't really mind too much that it was as janky as it was. And I mean, that's basically a summary of my thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. I'm happy you're trying.
Oh my god!
But
I just remembered what I thought. I just remembered what it made me think of.
Go on.
I'm sorry. Okay, so have you guys watched much Phineas and Ferb?
I dabbled back in the day.
Dabbled. Okay, so there was, and I don't know why it just came to me. This is like so funny. It seems like the same thing, except done better. Where there's an episode where it was like a big deal. It was like a special where Candace actually gets her parents to see the Phineas and Ferb doing all this dangerous shit.
Yep.
And she gets them sent away to boarding school, and they become boring and lame and stupid, and they don't do anything anymore. And she has this little montage where there's this stupid ass song in the background, and it's like got these really on the nose lyrics where she's calling them her little brothers, and it just says because you're younger, we're related, and you're boys, like just explaining the fact that they're her little brothers. And that's kind of what that Sage thing reminds me of, except in the Phineas and Ferb thing, they actually had enough scenes to go with it where it's like it felt funny, but also it felt very sincere. So,
Well,
like, in the Sage one, it just doesn't do it. You know,
I
like,
mean,
it just doesn't
My
work.
first thought was of, like, comparison was, like, the When Somebody Loved Me montage from Toy Story 2. So you could probably see why my first impression... You probably see why my
that's a
first
good one,
impression
too.
was kind of good. But, I mean, it's one of those things where, yes, returning to it, I was like, yeah, you don't have the footage to make this work, and you could have done without the kids singing. You could have just had the piano, and that would have been nice. I did think... I did do a little re-edit of it in my first review of Frontiers, where I was like, okay, we'll splice in a bit of footage where it shows Gamma's promising beginnings before getting kind of mistreated. Throw in, like, some of the other robots Robotnik has had and then gone on to mistreat, and maybe implied that Sage could be a bit of a cycle, and that's why she's so upset and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that could work. But it's just, yeah, what we have here doesn't really work. I'm grateful they gave it a go.
Well, I compared Eggman to Doofenshmirtz in the video at one point.
Yeah.
And I was talking with one of my friends about it beforehand when I was writing the video, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, right. Doofenshmirtz has a daughter where, you know, who's like, you know, competent, and his whole thing is being evil, and that's like an occupation in that universe. I'm like, oh my god, wait a minute. Oh no, Eggman and Sage are literally just Doofenshmirtz and Vanessa, but like worse. It makes me sad.
Yeah, with more build-up, yeah.
See, I speculated that they could take things in a different direction when we had ending number 1. Before Final Horizon, I was thinking, oh, okay, Robotnik's brought her back, but as purely like an AI form. He's denied her death. Sonic Frontiers thematically is all about, you know, closure, getting the end that you need and stuff like that. But Robotnik has gone against that and brought Sage back, and he's done it for himself. So I was thinking, maybe in the next games we would see that Robotnik actually really mistreats her. That maybe with this new Sage that he has complete control over, he's able to basically shut off her empathy whenever he feels like it. And then it would be like Robotnik is basically controlling his little girl. That'd be a really cool story. I don't think we can do that post-Final Horizon. But
Don't think we can do that, yeah.
Final Horizon did at least make it so I can believe that Sage would revert back to a villain because she's got that twisted, it's his world to conquer, so yeah, you better fucking save it, buddy. I don't hate the idea of us I like the idea of having a Sage in there because I liked the whole thing of Robotnik has never really experienced love before from any kind of human. This is the first, like, creation that resembles a human that has ever shown him any kind of love to our knowledge. So I like the idea that that would reveal a softer side to him, and I don't think that has to negate the whole villainy thing. I will say this, I think some people are taking the wrong lesson. I remember people saying at the Final Horizon ending, oh, Robotnik deserved his happy, and it was like, guys, he's Hitler. He's quite literally this universe's equivalent to Hitler. Like, he does not deserve a happy ending at all. We've played Sonic Forces. I've read Metal Virus. That guy ain't deserving a happy ending ever. But, like, I do like the idea that while we're still asserting that this man is a villain, we can show that there are better qualities to him that can be enabled by kindness.
Well, yeah,
that's also
definitely.
interesting. That sorry, this is a quick one, but it's interesting that we've never seen another human being give Eggman any kind of compassion or anything like that. But he does talk about his grandfather and how he's his hero. Someone Ice Cold in chat said, "Oh, I get it, Ice Cold." So was Gerald not a part of Robotnik's life? I don't think we know, because he said he looked up to his grandfather, that he was his hero, but we never have any real confirmation that they were like close, or they had anything, like, or that he just knew of him and he looked up to him. Because he also mentions Maria, and he sounds like he didn't know Maria either. Because he says, like, I wonder if Sage is like what Maria is.
He probably didn't get to
so he was
hang out
probably
with
just
Gerald
alone?
that much.
Well, it gives
most of his life.
credence to something I've said I'd like to see in the future, whether or not Sega will actually allow it, is the idea that we could see, like, Shadow, infiltrate an Eggman base or something, and he's all guns ablaze, and that's Shadow for you, but the one person he's a little more delicate with is Sage, and I've always liked the idea that, like, because Sage is both, an ancient construct and a Robotnik construct. She's technically part alien, part Eggman, family, whatever the fuck. And, like, with Shadow...
That's what Shadow is.
Shadow is part alien, part Eggman, fuck. And, like, it's, like, the idea these two could have some common ground. He sees a little girl, someone he can protect. And I like the idea of her referring to him as, like, Great Uncle Shadow and stuff. I think there's a lot of very cool things that we can explore
Shadow
through Sage.
But yeah, I agree. I like the idea of Shadow as a member of the Robotnik family is embraced. Yeah. That sounds cute.
I think
yeah.
there's a line to be
it makes
drawn...
Shadow his uncle, Eggman's uncle.
There's a line to be drawn in the sand here. In that, I think, like, they can't make me see Eggman as a sympathetic character because he's not. He's a I've just legalized weed, Sonic. Like, fuck that guy. Even though I love weed, fuck that guy. But, like, yeah, he's a guy that loves being a dick, and he is a dick. Like, that's Eggman, and you're never gonna make me see him any other way in this main continuity. However, I do like the idea that I can explore facets of his personality that aren't openly on display. It's something I've been wanting from Sonic as well, is the idea that this alright thing is kind of more of a front, more who he wants to be, but he has his own little set of insecurities that he doesn't really talk about. Like, I just like the idea of digging deeper with these characters, even if it means that we don't necessarily have a different judgment of them in the end. I'm just happy to dig a little deeper, and that's what Sage represents to me with Robotnik.
Certainly.
I mean, I was thinking we could actually kind of go into, like, each of the characters kind of
Sure.
Because I've got some notes here, and they kind of begin on Amy. And,
oh boy.
Yeah, because Amy is one that is polarizing, even, like, beyond just this chat here. Like, Amy's very polarizing.
Yeah.
Like, even down to, like, how Flynn writes for Amy in the IDW comics as well. Amy is quite a mixed one, and I can't say I really disagreed with you, Jeb. But fuck it, I'm just gonna read off the notes. Fuck it, because these notes word it as well as I can. I hate reading off of notes, but we're gonna do it. So honestly, no, I can't make it sound natural. Fuck. But I honestly enjoyed Frontiers' portrayal of Amy, but I do think it's in need of a framing device, Because, like, if Amy is just part of the gang now, and her impassioned fangirl shtick is kind of a done thing, and it's now, a genuine kinship between her and Sonic, you would assume the two have grown together, Like, and I like that idea. That one time she was kind of this fangirl that was like, oh, my darling Sonic, come here. And she's matured up over time and stuff like that. I like that idea. Would have been nice if we could have actually fucking seen that, and okay, like, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's like a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Same with Sage and Eggman. This is cool. I really wish we had a story to tell about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like... I want to see her journey to becoming a full-time member of Team Sonic. And I don't consider it as like a business that Team Sonic, refer themselves as such. But the idea that, they travel around together and stuff. I like the fact that she's now being brought on the journey. She's on the tornado now. Sonic, can trust her in action now. Good stuff. And, maybe maybe we can just take this in the context of a vacuum, right? You know, like take her story in, because Sonic characters are never consistent from game to game, almost never anyway. So like maybe this is just how she is in Frontiers. The problem is they constantly bang on about how far she's come, and then even in Final Horizon we have that stupid fucking line where she's like, "I'm not just a damsel in distress anymore." I'm like, come on now, man. Like, Ian.
Well, actually, this is another thing. I didn't mention it in my video because I was trying not to imply anything about like, oh, you know, who so-and-so's fault. But did you know, according to Ian on one of the Bumblecasts, I swear to God, he said that the side interactions in Final Horizon, those weren't written by him. He only wrote like the main mandatory cutscenes.
Is that why the Knuckles ones are so shitty?
Would that also be why Tails at one point refers to Sonic in the third person right in front of his face?
I never thought about that.
He's like, I gotta gather the emeralds for Sonic, and Sonic's like, hell yeah, buddy, go on, dude. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm right here.
The thing that I find the most interesting about that is that kind of implies to me, I have no idea who wrote that stuff, but that kind of implies to me that this was written like intentionally trying to mimic Flynn's style, which is why there's song lyrics only in the Final Horizon side stuff. There's song lyrics, there's a bunch of references, the characters say who they are over and over, and it sounds like it's like a parody of that idea. So there's like a interesting, what are you trying to say here? And then it makes me think of Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps, where that was supposed to be written in line with Colors writing, which that
like
just makes
quasi
like,
Pontac and Graph kinda.
Yeah. It's like, what are you trying to say when you when you write it like in this style? It's
I don't mind.
Could you write this for us and try and make it like not good at all? That'd be great. Thanks.
The thing is, there's a lot of interactions that I do like in Final Horizon, especially the ones between Eggman and Tails. I like the respect between them. That's all cool stuff. And getting back to Amy, I did genuinely like a lot of the moments with her in this game. I like seeing her stand up to Sonic, only to back down immediately. It's all coming undone, isn't it? The thing is, she didn't even need to back down in that scene, because, you know, it's kind of a compromise anyway. But I did like the genuine fond smile between her and Sonic after they quashed that little beef. And the dynamic is now less two kids playing chase, now two old friends with a sincere fondness for each other. But, okay, I want to talk about the Poppy Field cutscene. You know, the one where she's like, I'm going to go on a fuck, kill, eat tour. You know? Okay, so the read I got from that originally is that Amy still loves Sonic, and she can't ignore it. But, like, she genuinely loves Sonic, insofar that she also accepts that is Sonic. She saw the love of the two Coco. That's what she wants, but she ain't gonna get that from Sonic. So she's off to actually go share the love she does have, and maybe someone will reciprocate someday, which, that's nice, you know? Like, the idea that she's finally moving. It would have been good for them to have maybe had, like, a conversation, which is like, Sonic, are you ever gonna see me in this way? Or something, you know? Like, something like that.
Yeah, Sonic has, like, pretty much no input other than, like, yeah, that sounds cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and then she's gonna get mad at Sonic.
I'm glad that you're alive and you can still speak.
Wait, I'm sorry, Amy. I wanted to date you all along. But, and yes, the wording really does sound like it's going to become some sexual liberation story, where Amy and Styx go on the Eat, Bang, Kill tour a la the Harley Quinn TV series. And here's the thing, is there's a deliberate vagueness here. In fact, it's even more vague in the Japanese dub. And here's where we come to the big thing that holds Sonic Frontiers back for me, is it's a story that serves to establish that these characters can change. In a series that famously has a rigid set of ridiculous restrictions. It's a story that will give players the illusion of change to show them that, yes, these stories can matter. Yes, these characters can matter. But it also has to have all of the safeguards Sega could possibly need in order to revert things back to normal should they decide to move in another direction. So the next game can roll along, the gang are all together, Amy's been on her polyamory tour with Cream and Stick. Oh, God, Cream, get out of this. And it didn't fucking matter. Knuckles abandoned the Master Emerald for another birthday party to hang with the boys, and now he's back with the Master Emerald, and none of it ever mattered. We'll hardly recognize Tails the next time we see him. Except canonically, after Sonic Frontiers, he went to Amy's birthday party as a detective, where he asked himself, what would Sonic do? So the problem is here, Sonic Frontiers is doing stuff that matters, and it's not gonna matter outside of this game to me. Maybe, I don't know. Sonic Frontiers, alright, something I was saying about how far Amy's come. She's a part of the team now. And the framing device would all work here if we aged the characters up, because they have aged up. Like, no. Sonic isn't 15 in this game. Amy is not fucking 12. I will never take that seriously.
Well, that's why they've removed, like, the ages. Well, among many reasons, they removed the canonical ages,
yes,
quote
exactly.
unquote.
But
then it's also...
Go on. Sorry.
They didn't do anything to tangibly show, like, some time has passed. And
Exactly.
in fact, Flynn has still said that, quote unquote, officially everything takes place in a year.
Yeah, it's stupid. It undercuts
ridiculous.
it. But it's like, yeah, this reminds me
Wait,
of Station
everything.
Square.
What takes place in a year? What takes
apparently,
place?
from Sonic Adventure through to Sonic Frontiers is like 18 months.
Yeah.
Which no, shut up.
There's
no
way.
There's
no fucking way that's a real thing.
Like,
they waste 6 months on Sonic Forces.
Like,
Out
all of these guys
the entire journey.
All of these games in this game are young adults. Tails as well. He's just testosterone deficient, so he talks like that.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. So that means. Wait. So that means not only does Eggman summon a god of destruction in 18 months, he summons a lizard that almost blows up the planet. He summons a giant metal dragon that almost destroys the planet.
He spent
blows
6 months
up the
aboard the
entire
Death
Earth
Egg Bear in mind
pieces.
as well.
He cuts up Solaris and tries to make him into a little ray gun or something. No way. Who said
Never
that?
a dull
Who said
moment.
that?
Never a fucking
Who
dull
said
moment.
that? Who did that? Who said that? Was that an official capacity? Someone said that.
Apparently, it's something that Flynn has said.
He said that in a podcast.
Okay.
It's
Right.
secondhand
So
knowledge.
in I don't want to say, I don't want to be, I'm not saying this to be like rude or mean or anything. I think there's some times where we can listen to someone who's working officially on a game and say, yes, that's true. But other times we have to say, okay, you just said that. That's not a real thing.
He has also made a point of saying it doesn't truly matter. Like, Canon and stuff like that doesn't truly
That doesn't make
matter.
any sense.
But the thing is, like, yeah, the game is always saying, like, oh, this reminds me of when Tikal showed us those visions. Yeah, when the fuck was that, though? Like, how long ago was that? Was that yesterday?
That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Sonic's
the thing
like 39.
They are 25 at the youngest in Sonic Frontiers. I don't care that they didn't change their designs or anything, because their designs never evoked kid anyway. They are fucking 25 in this game. I will not accept, if I were fucking Tails, I don't care if I'm 12 or if I'm 8, if a 15-year-old goes up to me...
You should rephrase that statement.
If I'm Tails, and I'm 12 or I'm 8, if a 15-year-old comes up to me and goes, that's all just part of growing up, I'm gonna want to fucking deck him. Because you're not done. You're not fucking done growing up yet, you 15-year-old. You are literally prepubescent.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe, I've always kind of figured that Sonic is like 21 now, at like bare minimum, you know, or something.
It has to be. The thing is, it would be like if they released a Simpsons episode where Bart is still 10 years old and he goes to college. He goes to fucking college.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to say her name. Something in chat. Long time no see, 35 times in 18 months. You say that to your friend every time you see them, like every other week.
All of this story,
Sonic, that was last week. Yeah, I know.
All
Time
of this
flies.
story works so much better with the caveat that this is a few years down the line.
And that's why, like, I think that's part of the reading I have on Sonic Frontiers is the fact that all of these things, like, they're trying to make it so all of this stuff happened, and I feel like it needs to have happened over a decent amount of time. Otherwise, the change they go through doesn't fucking matter.
Otherwise, Tails really is just a piping hot mess. He hasn't drifted.
It's like they have like a legitimate issue. If they you go from not speaking at all to speaking in like surfer lingo in Sonic Adventure to speaking, in teamwork speak and hero. Like there's like a legitimate issue, or maybe they age like dogs and they only have like 3 years left to live.
They're
That's the only way
close
that
to
works.
the end now.
Knuckles, no.
Oh yeah, Knuckles, the kid has lived for like 15 years or whatever, so Knuckles is like already kind of pushing daisies at this
The
point.
thing is, there's also such an obvious fucking solution, and it's something I've been saying for years. Ignore it. Like, as in, like, not
Yeah.
you guys. As in, Sega, fuck Canon. Don't give them ages. Don't give it a timeline. Just give every game its own little bespoke art style so we can have, like, a graffiti-style game or a Lost World-style game, and it don't fucking matter. Just treat these things as little works of art and just release them. And that is all that matters. And if you want to have a game that ties these little games together at some point, you can just do that. Just do it. Like, you want to do a Generations that says, oh, they all happen in the same world, do it. Because it won't matter next game. Next game, it won't fucking matter, because Generations don't fucking have to be canon to that next one, you know? Like...
Well, the funny thing is that now we all have, like, this giant magnifying glass over every, like, ounce of canon, to the point where there's the whole moon debacle in Sonic Superstars, right?
Yeah.
But then, also... Amy's independence and her being like one of the boys and her being, growing so much is really weird now when you look back at Superstars. She was also just going on adventures and destroying things
part of the gang,
on her own.
And she's not chasing Sonic at all in that game. And that
At
is
all.
the thing.
Yeah.
Is Sonic Frontiers kind of serves to kind of... It wants to say, this is where these characters are. This is where they're going to be. The whole thing is like, hey, in future installments, Tails isn't gonna be fucking stupid. Amy won't be chasing Sonic around like a crazed fangirl. Knuckles will sometimes take a break from guarding the Master Emerald. Except, Amy hasn't fucking done that in years. Knuckles literally abandons the Master Emerald for fucking birthday parties. And I mean, to be fair, I think the Tails arc actually kind of did work. I like the Tails. I do find it hilarious that this game that's meant to approve the character of Tails is basically... Sonic, am I a shit character? But, like, at the same time...
Yeah!
Even if it is on the nose, I'm kind of like, I needed that. Thank you for that.
Well, Tails, yeah, I mean, you kind of are a shit character, but you're just a kid, so you can become an adult like me and be
all
less
kids
shit.
are fucking stupid, Tails. Jesus, have you seen fucking Cream? She hasn't done anything in years. We should really get her back. That would be a dream come true.
We would be a real
Make
dream
big
team.
old dream team.
Yeah. Okay, actually, I have to say, Jeb, your Sonic impressions are really good. I liked that a lot throughout the video. That added a lot to it.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
just
you.
one more note on the fucking Silver Dreams of an Absolution thing. If they did that in 06, I would think it was cool. I would think it was cool.
Well, no, but I was making that, and I was like, oh yeah, look at how stupid this is. But I was like, wait a minute, this still looks better, like, by comparison, because Amy
There's
and
more
Silver
scenes.
have more scenes and in different places and a better dynamic
Do you
in this
remember
shitty titty game.
Do you remember the very first trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League, where it was just a
No, I don't.
where it was just a series of shots set to the song Hallelujah?
Yes.
I did a thing. I took shots from Sonic 06 that kind of mirrored all those shots, and then I put it over the Axel Rudy Pell cover of Hallelujah, which is Johnny Gioeli from Crush 40 singing, and put it all in 4:3, and I was like, this fucking is awesome. This is amazing. This goes hard. This is the best fucking thing I've ever seen. So sometimes it's okay to just put some shots over some music to me. That's my standard. That's where I'm at.
Trailer.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, maybe if the reveal trailer for Sonic Frontiers were that little nah thing, I'd be like, oh, we are definitely in for the best one. This is going to be the best.
Wait. I would have been like, I'm not buying this.
Dude, can you imagine if the reveal footage was Green Hill? Like, that would have been end of hype immediately.
Something else I didn't like. I kind of tried not to get too carried away with IDW discussion because I'm only now really going through IDW like properly myself, as opposed to just looking at it from down the grapevine. But I'm looking at it, and I kind kind of feel like Knuckles in Frontiers is meant to be kind of like a backdoor.
Oh, he's a backdoor, right? You seen the way he looks at Sonic?
It's meant to be like a backdoor plan because we know that there are mandates in IDW to keep Knuckles on his island for, like, now that's what Sega cares about, the island.
The mandates,
so
just they're learning the wrong lessons every time. Fuck the
maybe
mandates.
Frontiers is kind of like, you know, Ian's way of being like, hey, hint, hint, wink, wink, Sega or whoever wants to pick up the story, you could get Knuckles off his island in IDW. Just saying, you know, but just for reference, that's what I feel it must be, because when you take IDW into account for all these characters, it becomes really confusing and weird. Because, like, Tails in actually, like, the first issue of IDW has a little mini, like, oh man, Sonic, I don't want you to get hurt again after Forces. And then Sonic's like, oh, well, you always look after me. And then Tails is like, oh, okay, thanks. And then that's it. But then they do it again in Frontiers here.
Whatever, man.
It's just so.
Shut up, Tails. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I think the only mandate should just be write it good at this point, you know? Like, yes. Sonic needs the fucking leash off. Because that is also the thing, is like, Ian's work on Archie is fucking atomic levels of fucking biblically awesome badassery. And, like, it's because he was free. We need Archie back. Not necessarily Archie, but we need that era of, no, we do, fuck it. Get it fucking back. I am now Nick. I think they need to bring back Sally. And Dick's out for sticks as well. That also applies. But
Dick's out for sticks. Good thing the ages are gone. Yeah.
They never had him in Boom anyway. But, like,
no, I'm pretty sure Styx was somewhere was stated she's 14.
Where, though? Is it in the piece of media, or is it in a supplementary?
No,
material?
in a supplementary material. Well, technically, then everyone's ages.
Because I'm just gonna say, if it's a manual, it doesn't fucking matter, because in Sonic CD they refer to Amy as Princess Sally.
What about Sonic Channel bios?
Sonic CD? What?
Yeah, so, okay, like, yeah, the fucking Sonic CD manual has, like, a little side piece to, like, kind of give you a bit of story and stuff. And they refer to Amy as Princess Sally in that manual.
That's
Which is why you can throw all the manuals at me in the world. They're not that age. It's so stupid. No, they're not.
Sonic has always been managed really, really well, is what I'm getting.
That's so strange.
Like, maybe in Adventure and stuff, yeah, Sonic is a 15-year-old boy in that game, maybe, but, like, even that's pushing it.
You know what? That's actually funny, because that reminds me of, what was the game where... Didn't they, like, accidentally include Sally artwork when they meant to just put Amy artwork in one of the games? Was it...
No, you're thinking
what game was that?
You're thinking of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, where... On the Wii version, I think, and also if you turn the graphics way down low on PC, one of the pieces of artwork is in the casino level. There's like a card, and it's got Amy on it. It's like the Queen of Hearts or something. But if you crunch the quality down, it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, I think that is what I was thinking of.
That's just insane to me.
It's fan art, yeah. They just keep doing that, too.
Yeah.
No, wait, isn't there a fucking thing in, like, Sonic Spinball or something? Yeah, she's in Sonic Spinball. Maybe that was on purpose,
though. Point here. The manuals, the hero's manual, refers to Eggman as a feminist.
Well, then we got
it also says
at its word.
There are manuals.
It also says Eggman is like, they can't quantify his age. They just can't tell.
There are manuals that say that Blaze
He's so handsome.
There are manuals that say that Blaze is insecure about her small breasts. Where is that in the game, though? Like,
well, that's the thing. I feel like Sonic Channel bios were the closest things that you could take as, like, canon ages, but even then, those have now been deleted, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think the only time ages have ever really been made a thing in the games, other than Tails being a kid, obviously, is the fact that, well, if Professor Gerald died 50 years ago, that would have to mean that Eggman is over 50 years old at
50?
least.
Also,
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shadow as well.
bear in mind, we've had two games that are birthday-centric, Sonic Generations and The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. At no point in either of these birthday-centric games did they ever specify any age for these characters. The reason for it is if you're a kid, the idea is, oh, I can relate to them. They could be me. If you're an adult, you don't feel like a fucking predator while playing the game. You know?
As long as you're under the age of 1, you can realistically believe that you. Anyway.
If you can
My
walk
friend Jack's
and
got a good
piss,
point.
you
They
can
have
be
to
Sonic.
at least have driver's licenses. That's true.
Yeah, they've got to, like, also, bear in mind, in Boom, they're all homeowners as well. Like,
The laws on Bygone Island may work differently.
Is that what it's called? Bygone Island? I don't know anything.
I miss
know nothing.
Bygone Island. I miss the town, the village, like, because it had a shop and burgers. And, like, Green Hill
You
doesn't have
love
that,
gift
damn it.
shops, dude.
And had Dave the Intern. Everyone likes Dave.
Listen, I was saying it on Twitter. I'm gonna say it again here, right? All right. Sonic Boom's locations might not be as visually stimulating as the main series, but I'd take them over another Green Hill now because they at least feel lived in, which they are. It's a town. It's got a burger shack. You've got Dave the Intern. We know who the fucking mayor is of this place. If we could just get a bit more of that in the main games, I'd be a happy chap. I'd be pleased.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because like, I'm gonna make the Mario Sonic thing. I'm gonna do a Mario and Sonic comparison here. One of the things I don't like about Sonic is that they never like nailed down the specific world, right? Like I know in Unleashed they had like a really good thing going, where they were like, hey, this is the world they live in, and then they just throw it out. But Mario does that too, and I really don't care. And I think it's because the Mario games really don't, like, they don't get into plot as much. They don't really feel like they have as much of a reason to do it, so it's more okay there.
Yeah,
but like with Sonic, when it's like they try to tell stories, it's really distracting when the world is constantly fluctuating, or you're going to Green Hill 80 times, but it's just a stage and it's not a place.
It's that if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You know, like, you shit or you get off the pot. Because the thing is, like, again, like with Frontiers, so much of its storytelling could be mitigated if they didn't constantly make references back to older games. The more you refer back to old shit, the more it can call the new shit into question. If they didn't do that and just said, this is just how these characters are written now, it'd be fine. It'd be fucking fine.
Well, that's the thing with Mario. Mario doesn't really have the pretense that it super duper cares about story, and to the point where it's been said in interviews that, and you know, it is by Miyamoto, and sometimes you can throw this out, but he has said that, like, well, we just kind of view the Mario cast as like actors to use as we kind of please. So really,
put them in whatever role they need
to. Doesn't matter outside of like maybe like the Paper Mario, like any like sub franchise. Usually in the Mario series, it'll be like, oh, Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. There's continuity there, and like Luigi's Mansion and stuff. But it's so light, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to think about the fact, why is Bowser so big in this one game and not in this other?
Why are you so big, Bowser?
What? Oh.
What are you doing, Step Bowser?
Yeah. But it's with Sonic. That's why I just kept saying I really understand and even appreciate the fact that they are caring about this kind of stuff, or at least like bringing it up for the people who do care about continuity's sake with Sonic. But I think that it's a mistake because it's just making it you're trying to douse the fire with like Sonic branded gasoline. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it muddles it really bad. Yeah,
it's
I know what you mean.
It's like, hearing the
I think that's the difference.
Hearing about the Ark, hearing about the Egg Carry, hearing about Dark Gaia, sure, give me a little boner in the moment. But at the same time, I don't need you to do that for those stories to matter. They already matter to me. But you know what I'd rather you do if you want to make it matter is let me someday go and chat with Professor Pickle again or something. like, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe use the Space Colony Arc to blow up the end, which is something that we discussed in a very time ago. But
that'd be kind of badass. But
yeah, it was
maybe a retread. They've done that twice now.
No, literally.
Or sorry, They did it once with the Black Comet. I guess it could have worked on the end.
100 or so episodes ago, we were saying, like, you know, this was way before we knew there'd ever be a Final Horizon. We were just saying, like, you know, how cool would it be if, like, Eggman went up to the abandoned Ark with Tails, and they worked together to reactivate the Eclipse cannon and use that to blow up the end. Like, we got something surprisingly kind of similar, and I know it's not the Eclipse cannon, but it's the gun, and that's cool because the gun did shit in the end. Also, I actually really appreciate your point, Jeb, when you said that this whole Eggman and Sonic team up in the original story led to Eggman gets 1 Poultry Chaos Emerald. That was so fucking funny when I thought about it. But I will say this, Final Horizon definitely corrected the course on that, because Eggman uses a fucking Glock, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I will admit, I do really like the fact that they brought back the techno specs of his glasses. I really like that.
Yeah, from like 06,
that was
right?
neat.
Like,
yeah.
when I saw the
I
little,
wish-
when I saw the little triangles in his eyes, it made me think of like how the Pingus Robotnik had like the little red irises.
I was thinking about, I was like, when they zoomed in on his eyes and he started doing the thing, I was like, ooh, and then I was like, don't show his eyeballs, though. Please don't show his eyeballs. Like, I'm not ready for that. Like, in 06, when you see his eyes, and it's like, ooh. Don't
I should
show
never
me
have
that.
seen Eggman's eyes.
I think that was,
Wow.
this is a huge throwback to the Clement J64 Sonic 06 review. I think he was like, they should never have done that. Like, now I know his eyes are blue. That's something I should have never known.
I really want in Sonic Frontiers 2 for Sonic at some point to be like, hey, this reminds me of the time when I was a fighter pilot before I died. Dig deep, Ian. Dig deep. I want to hear that.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I really just want to know how Frontiers 2 is going to be. Because I don't
It's gonna
know.
be
Like
amazing.
some
It's gonna be
have
perfect.
said that the references are just for this game, but I don't know. I'm reading IDW and they're kind of here too, although not quite as egregious. Although the song lyrics are, well, those are definitely egregious. So I'm like, I don't know.
Sorry, for which one?
In the comics, there's like the bit where Sonic is like, "I'm just gonna move on my way, my own way," and
My
stuff,
own
and it's
way.
like, "Oh,
Oh.
shut the fuck up, Ian. Fuck up, bro. Like, stop it."
Well, Sonic
Dumb.
and Eggman are having like a genuinely serious conversation
Oh,
about
yeah.
whether or not Eggman can change.
Yours is
But they're, like,
evil and mine's not.
just like, yeah,
Stop
I don't
it.
know.
Stop it, Ian.
In Dream Team, I mean, this isn't a Sonic reference, but in Dream Team, Sonic makes a giant enemy crab joke,
That is so
which is
like
the second time that this is actually, because that already happened at the end of Archie, where Sonic was like, "Oh,
I
it's a
did
giant enemy
enjoy
crab."
the giant enemy crab though. Like,
There was also the giant enemy crab in Forces. They just don't mention it.
fuck that. Fuck forces.
So I'm like, I don't know, dude. I feel like this is just here to. I don't necessarily believe there's quite a concentrated purpose, with
Okay.
the reference.
In some
and-
cases, it can be like I don't mind a little bit of pickle tickling. If they want to tickle the pickle a little bit, I don't mind that. I think there is such a thing as too much pickle tickling. Like, there's the kind of pickle tickling that calls things into question. The dark
Yeah,
guy
I know.
thing
Like
calls-
at some point, you gotta just say, "Hey, bitch, get off." Like I gotta work sometimes.
There's
you know?
there's that, and then there's also like the kind of pickle tickling where it's like, hang on a minute, when did a pickle get here? Like in that, like, say the Dark Gaia reference in Sonic Frontiers. Like, hang on though, if the emeralds in the temples of Gaia were the things that kept Dark Gaia at bay, was the world just a fucking hellscape before they got here? That Dark Gaia was like overruling. And that's the kind of pickle
I
tickling
didn't think
that's
about
like,
that.
God damn it, my pickle's a little sore now, like, and that's the thing. Is sometimes
You
just,
are out of control.
you just gotta know when to stop. Sometimes it starts to hurt, at first it's lovely, but then it starts to hurt.
Jesus Christ.
And then next thing you know, you've broken your banjo string, and then look what
I did. I need to. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. All right, to get away from. So there's. You've made me forget what I was gonna say.
What
You've
were
made
you
me
gonna
forget
say?
what I was.
What were you gonna say? Dylan?
I don't know now. I forget because
What were you
you
going
made me
to
laugh
say?
so much.
Maybe if I
I
yell
think
at
it was
you enough,
something
you'll
about
remember
okay,
it.
I know about the blatant references. Like being ridiculous and stuff. I think in Frontiers when they talk about the pinball thing, I think it's sort of funny that they refer to that because even the character, like when they made me play that, I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And then the characters were like, "What the fuck was that?" And I kind of like the idea of that being like a funny joke because it's right in your face in this game, and it's sort of like you're both feeling that way, and like maybe just they shouldn't put it in there. But also, I guess it's funny to bring attention to it, and also the other one of like just the very subtle. What is your end goal? And he's like, oh, sometimes it's a spinning signpost or a really big ring. Like,
That was good.
If that was one of the only references in the game,
was a cute one. Yeah.
like, I think that's cute and funny, and like, that's like the little wink to the camera moment. But with the amount of them that they do, it kind of makes it like, okay, I get it. Yeah, it's sometimes in Sonic Adventure 2, he goes to the big ring, and then he goes, yes! And then he gets rated on his efforts. But sometimes he runs past the sign, and then it goes...
Did you know that the person who's been ranking Sonic all these years will be the villain of the next game, and it will be tied to cyberspace and the Ancients?
It's Ian Flynn himself.
It's literally Ian comes out with a notepad and pen as the main villain of the next game.
I mean, Ian Flynn comes out of a portal and he's wearing like this white tuck. He's like, "Welcome, Sonic. I've been rating your performances since the day you were born. One day I just thought that A wasn't enough, so I changed it to S. And in some cases,
that's not actually an
when you're
S. On the world of the Ancients, it means hope.
It's fucking Zack Snyder.
I'm gonna leave.
And then, sometimes when you're on hoverboards, I even change it to X. I think that's pretty cool.
Because it's radical and extreme and cool.
I saw into the future and I saw that was a trending thing.
I feel like I'm being mean at this point. I'm being like, I'm being... Like, I feel like I've said the same things a few times now, but it's like, it's funny to me at this point.
I remember seeing, I think, a YouTuber called Jet or something, like, he posted a video of him doing the first trial tower, and he thought the top of the tower would be solid, so he tried to land on it, and he fell through it all the way back down to, like, the middle of the challenge. And I was just like, oh, yeah, but no, if you talk to Sage, she'll go, well, but the Ancients, you see, they sometimes thought it would be quite cool to, like, not have, like, object permanence, like, that's, like... That's a cyberspace construct, bro. Don't worry about it. But,
okay. I think I said earlier that I thought like the technical explanations of like the glitches is stupid.
I don't even blame
I also
Ian for
find
that.
it funny. I find it funny as well because they're like, I feel like at that point they go back and they're like, "Hey, you remember all the botched collision?" And it's like, ha ha ha, yeah, I remember falling through that. That was funny.
Do you remember
like
time in Sonic Colors Ultimate when I, turned into a rainbow fish and had like
There's a thing. There's a thing. So there's a glitch where you can use the fucking Jade Ghost Wisp to escape the level geometry. You can literally and Tails will go, "Oh, I don't think we're supposed to be here, Sonic's like, what the fuck? It's not Tails' job to fix this, They made a little AI Tails bot. They're like, "Hey, fix this game. We'll update it when you're done." He's like, "I do not know how to do anything. Worry,
I do not
Sonic,
know how to make physical form."
out later.
Yeah, we don't really need to, fix these things. If we just have a character reference it, it'll be like, don't worry, it's not a glitch, it's a feature. Oh, okay, you just don't go to the glitchy places.
What was with that other ending? Oh, Sonic, you see, the Ancients created a thing called an update, where basically they could interfere with the flow of time and change the outcomes of certain events, Sonic. It's the Ancients! The original ending was just in cyberspace the whole fucking time, Sonic, okay? Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Alright, let's do it to it.
Don't ask questions you aren't prepared for the answers to, Sonic. I want to fly high so I can reach the highest of the heavens. This reminds me of my college graduation. Gosh, that Sally girl was hot. Whoa. All right.
That just made I just got like a pain in my arm from you saying that. I don't know. I don't think it was related, but I'm gonna say it was.
You're gonna have a stroke.
That was probably a stroke symptom. Yeah.
I really also I think it's just fantastic that we have the Tails arc in the game, which I already, I just don't like, but it's like, okay, well, we have the final horizon here. So now Tails is going to, he's literally going to be on his own shooting like lasers from his hand. Yeah, that's cool. But then he has a cutscene where he's like, oh, Knuckles, I don't think I can do it. But there's never side interactions.
I didn't mind that because a big part of his arc was that relapses are a thing that can just kind of happen, and that confidence isn't something he'll learn overnight. Maybe he'll gain that when he goes off. Maybe
it's
he'll...
like...
So go on.
That's the only commentary he ever has about himself, at all.
I'm so sick of Sonic. I'm so sick of him.
Look, Tails, I get it, dude. You have anxiety. Shut the fuck up about it. God.
Yeah, and Knuckles is just like, well, then ask for help, you little shit.
Bend over.
Christ.
I do like that idea because it's always been about teamwork, but that also makes me feel that it doesn't make sense for Tails to be like, I don't know if I could do this on my own. It's like, you don't have to. You never have. Not a single time have any of you done this alone. Like,
the other thing,
you're on a team. You're Team Sonic.
The other thing is, I wouldn't have been mad if you just said in this game Tails is written better because he's just written better. We just wrote him good this time. It's like, huh? Why? Different writing.
Again, the thing about Forces and Lost World and stuff like that, him being a shitty character, being an arc, is that in Forces it's not treated like he sucks. They treat him at the end he's like, Eggman, that's why a good scientist always checks and double checks. He's at no point in that game is there ever any sort of acknowledgement of
Tails couldn't fix Omega
Shut
earlier.
the fuck up, Tails, you fucking pussy.
And so it's really weird that now he looks at that as a relapse when also in Lost World when he was being a little bitch, the point the story's trying to convey at the end was that he was right.
Tails, you're just growing up, dude. It's just normal to have mood swings. You're just menstruating, buddy.
I would find it hilarious if Sonic does not know what that means, and he just thinks that that's...
Wait, hang on, wait, what is that? What's that coming out of your tails, bro? Oh my god.
He sees him shedding, the hair falling off, he's like, uh-oh, Tails.
Is that normal? You ought to see a doctor. The only doctor I know is Dr. Eggman. Whoa.
I'm so fucking... you ever get, I know we're just sitting here talking about Sonic, but, me thinking about all this stuff and trying to, put it together in my brain so I can articulate it is fucking exhausting me.
The other thing is...
I'm so tired.
The other thing is, you can't unshit Sonic Forces' writing, and you can't unshit Sonic Lost World's writing. So there's not... If you want to say it's an arc, you can't unshit it. It's shit. It's shit out. You shat that out there. You can't unshit what's already shit. But I don't actually mind the idea of Tails having an arc where he confronts the fact that he's got an anxiety disorder and kind of has to just kind of roll with it. I kind of just like that.
That's fine.
That's why that works. Fine. That's why I like Tails.
They just gotta make it... They gotta, double down on that, you know? Because,
damn, he just like me for real.
The reason what the fuck did I even do? It's been so long since I did my little Forces story thing, my rewrite, that I don't remember how I handled it. But, I think what I was trying to convey by, my goal was to not change that much, but to make Forces, make more sense to me. Yeah. And the thing I did was, hey... He thinks Sonic is really dead this time. I know on the arc when he thought Sonic was dead, he stepped up, and that's because that was an adrenaline moment, and it was hey, take care of everything for me, and he saw Sonic explode in front of his eyes. I'm gonna step up, I'm gonna do this. And then after, he was kind of looking sad, and he was like, I did it, Sonic, your last wish. I could see after that him maybe having some trouble, stepping up to the plate, maybe having some doubts because he didn't have Sonic there at first to be you can do this, you could, whatever. So it's in Forces when Sonic just gets his ass kicked and he sees that and he goes, oh my god, the guy that taught me everything I know and that believed in me just got fucking like killed in front of me.
Shit.
So like, was he right about me? You know, like maybe I can't do this, and that's why he could collapse and feel really inadequate about things. And I think that would have been a neat character arc, because then he could have met classic Sonic again, and he could have been like, this guy needs my help, because, you know, like, we've always been a dynamic duo, we need to help each other. And through that, they kind of regain, well, classic Sonic just, he does whatever the fuck, he doesn't even speak, but like, Tails would regain that feeling. Before he knows Sonic is alive again, I mean. He would regain the idea that, no, Sonic wasn't wrong. He believed in me. I believed in him. We can still do this. And
Dude,
then he
that's so
finds
much
Sonic's
better.
alive, and it's like, good, look at how much I've grown, look at all this stuff. But instead, it's just like,
I'm still
Sonic,
shit.
help me. You know, like,
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
the thing about, again, the Japanese version of Frontiers has Tails like talk about his anxiety. Specifically in that version, it actually talks about what he can bring to the table that others can't. Not so much whether he's good enough, but he talks, you know, a bit more about like just doing things beyond just being like the second Sonic, let's say.
The thing I really hate about Japanese is that it does. It probably leads into the next game better than this one will. But I don't like that Tails is like, I'm going through some shit, Sonic. Oh man, that's too bad. Yeah, I'm gonna do something about it, and then just leave it at that. I like that English Frontiers, like he's gonna go on an adventure. Cool. The thing is,
A
Sonic
Tails
Frontiers,
adventure.
as it currently stands, is the culmination of arcs that just didn't fucking exist. That's what it can best be described as. And you know what? A culmination of a series finale to a shit series can still be good, you know? And that's kind of how I view Sonic Frontiers, is I still enjoy what's going on here. When I hear fucking One-Way Dream play and I see the friends all on the tornado looking at each other, I'm like, they really feel like friends in this game, which is something I love about Sonic Frontiers. I think that is the best thing about its character dynamic. But it is a culmination of arcs that didn't happen. The problem we're running into now is the fact that this game has proposed that these characters will go their separate ways for a little bit, so that they can grow, so that they can learn things. If we don't see that happen, it's a slap in the face to anyone that dare invest in Frontiers' story, and it's also... It makes Sonic Frontiers the beginning of an arc that will never come to be. And all that tells us is, in this game, where we did everything in our power to re-establish canon, to re-establish these characters and tell them all why it matters, we're just gonna end up with the message of it doesn't fucking matter. Even when we pretend it matters, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah, that's why there was one point, which I agree with this sentiment, to be clear. But there was one point, I think on like Reddit or something, where Flynn was saying, hey guys, just to be clear, like on the topic of like treating like word of God of canon, right? Taking words like very seriously from like podcasts or official sources. Nothing is really like set in stone. Like there has always been somebody managing the lore. There always was, even back in the day. And we're just the new kind of generation of that, this lore team right now. So you can feel free to disregard what we say about canon, even if it is the quote-unquote official stance, because that could change years down the line anyway. Or you could take it at face value and enjoy the ride, but it doesn't really matter that much, is what he's trying to say, which I agree with. The problem is that now the lore is supposed to matter in the games, and it's a mess if we try to actually take it seriously at all.
And I don't
I just
actually blame it all on
I don't
Flynn,
know.
because it's quite clear when you look at like the at the Tails tubes and stuff, they're not necessarily written by Ian Flynn, and it's clear that Sega are making efforts to tidy things up. You could rename Tails Tube to Canon Cleanup, and I'm grateful for the little we get, but it does only open up more questions in the long run. And it's probably better to... I feel like the best thing they could do is, like, make a new game that is by no means necessarily a reboot, but make that game just be like, oh, by the way, this is how Sonic was born. This is his origins. and we're gonna go from there. Have a little flashback of a little kid Sonic, just to say, yeah, this stuff kind of goes on, and we're gonna build from the ground up. We're gonna build our new lore going forward. This is the first chapter, and if you like, it can connect to the old. But for now, this is just how it is, and maybe stuff in this will have continuity going forward. But we're not gonna mention Station Square or any of that awesome shit that happened in the past, because it's just a healthier thing to do, is to say, yeah, that's its own thing. It's why it needs a kind of a reboot. It's why the movies have flourished in the storytelling department. Even if they don't fucking fill themselves up with member berries, like, they flourish because they know what they want to do. They're not tripping over their own toes as far as continuity goes, trying to make everything make sense. It's Sonic Frontiers is kind of to this what the Charmy the Bee character arc in Archie was to Charmy. You guys know about that?
Mm-hmm.
God fucking damn it, that arc. It was a band-aid on a bullet hole, but it was also just, oh. If I were Sorry, go on.
Have you ever heard of the fact that originally Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric was going to focus on, like, Sonic's
like a prequel.
origins or whatever,
Yes.
and then
Because
it was said, like, no, don't do that.
we might
because
want to do it later.
We might want to do it later. And I'm like, will you, though? I really do want to know.
When is it going to happen? You know, like,
It's also been said that the ancient lore of Sonic being born on Christmas Island is not canon. So I'm like, okay, are you gonna show the Green Hill?
He was
baby
grown in
Sonic
like a test tube.
the thing is, though, like, this is the thing, is I've probably come across as much more negative on this than I actually am. I think the thing is, Frontiers does not fix the problem with Sonic continuity. It doesn't fix the fact that there's a lot of characterization stuff that didn't matter. But for this game, I enjoyed the ride. Like, I enjoyed the story we had going on here. And you know what? Just the bones of this thing. It's a Sonic game about fucking death. Awesome. Thank you. I like this whole thing of, you know, this cataclysmic being wiped out of civilization centuries, millennia ago, and Sonic's gonna fucking avenge him because he accidentally freed the fucker. Like, great stuff. He's been manipulated, all that, good stuff. And you know what? Along the road, while Sonic's friends are feeling pretty helpless in the situation, they get chances to reflect on their flaws and stuff. Great stuff. I think it's tying it to the existing lore, which is the biggest weakness of Sonic Frontiers. And that's a mistake, because it's only called more things into question because of it. It was a game that seeked to kind of reestablish the timeline, but it called it into more question. And you know what I find so funny is the game that's supposed to reestablish the canon for Sonic has 2 fucking endings. Like, that's hilarious. But, like...
Well, that's the other thing. I really wish it just leaned in on that sort of desolate nature of the game.
I agree.
Because that's... I mean, again, that would be closer to Breath of the Wild, but for good reason.
It's one of those things, though, where there's a lack of congruency. Okay, so... Something I wanted to say earlier, before the show started, and I said I'd save it, is that Sonic Frontiers is a game that has all of the grace of a reversing dump truck without any tires on, which is a little reference to a UK reality TV show for anyone watching. And that applies to the congruency, or lack thereof, between the story and the world. Is like, the world is a jumble of assets just thrown in there, and it's clearly not an ideal environment for water people, and they just have to kind of say, but they just live here. That's just how it is. And I think that's... The story's an afterthought. We had a beta test, we put a story on it, is how I would describe it. And it's why Sage doesn't look like any of the Ancients' technology. It's why... You know, there's such a disconnect between gameplay and story, and why all this stuff feels so haphazard. Like, why did Knuckles take a look at fucking Error's Island and think, Angel Island, when it's a fucking desert? And, like...
it's also...
Well, Sandopolis is on Angel Island.
Yeah, well, we didn't get a screenshot of that, did we? You know, if you want to have Knuckles... Because that's the thing, part
right.
of his arc is... Oh, I can't lose this time. I can't lose these ruins. You know what would have been a good place to put Knuckles if he's going to be all reflective and shit? Operation Big Wave. Make him suffer the trauma of sending thousands of innocent kids to their deaths because he figured they can't kill all of us at once.
Yeah, I actually figured that I really thought that's what was going to happen when he like saw the ancients get wiped out, but it didn't.
Listen,
like,
guys,
no.
you gotta do the Naruto run. They won't be able to hit you with their bullets.
What
was
the hell?
literally
They hit you with their
Knuckles'
bullets,
plan.
and you were even Naruto running. This is impossible.
Operation Big Wave was literally Area 51. Like, and this is the thing is I'm saying, relating it to Canon was a mistake, and now I'm saying, they should have made Operation Big Wave the cause of Knuckles' trauma. But it's like, if you're gonna do it, you kind of gotta. That's the thing.
I think that would genuinely be a way to kind of add to this. Sometimes happens in IDW as well, where they'll add things to forces, and it works.
The thing is,
I just think Tails is like a bad way to do that.
The thing is, we can't acknowledge Operation Big Wave, because the thing is, if we actually acknowledge Operation Big Wave, I can't look at Knuckles the same again. I'm gonna look at him and be like, throw him in a cage, you know? I'm not gonna be like, I don't look at the fucking captain of the Costa Concordia and think, God, I'd like to see a redemption arc there. I think, you fucking cowardly piece of shit. And I don't want to think that when I look at Knuckles. So I do think it is important that we don't address Operation Big Wave. But if they wanted to do that, they got it. It's in your little Rolodex.
Dude, all the Coco die as well after he's done commanding them.
He's done it again.
I know it's like it's a different context, but they all die. So, or they were all dead already. I don't know. I guess technically they were already all dead.
The fact is, I just like it.
It's so absurd that
I
know people are saying in the chat millions of people. We don't know how many people he literally got killed, but I like to think it's like millions.
I think I need to I need to draw up my standard here. Is that there's a lot of like we kind of slammed Sonic 06 at the time for this kind of stuff, and yeah, but I actually really like the story of Sonic 06. Even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, it just kind of goes hard. It's just kind of a bit like a Snider-y kind of Sonic story, you know? And I like
there it
for
is.
that. Yeah, I know what I'm
Snider-y
doing. I know what I'm
story.
doing. He is the benchmark for all cool things that go hard. But
Frontiers does go for it.
That's
certainly true.
I was asking for cool shit back in Sonic, and Frontiers did it. And yeah, look, if they can improve upon everything you've outlined flawlessly, might I add, I really don't have a lot to kind of debate here. If they can improve upon that, I'm a happy chappy, but right now I'm just happy it kind of goes hard again, you know?
Right now you're not quite chappy, but you are happy.
I don't need much to please me, all right? But
that's another thing too, is that like it was after Frontiers that we got the murder of Sonic, which is
amazing.
The stance was like, oh well, I mean this can be canon or not, whatever. But it's like Sage is in that, and that was before the Final Horizon. And so I was like, oh, okay. So if that is to be treated like with any modicum of seriousness, like
so what happened to hardly recognizing Tails the next time we see him then in that game? Where's your moustache, Tails? Where's your beard? Where's your gross depression beard from where you've been hanging out in a cave in the Middle East for 6 years? Where is it?
It's like, I really want to know if there was any kind of plan for Sage going forward, or if it really will just be like, well, I mean, I think now it really will just be like Eggman sidekick, lol. But before I was like, oh, is she going to lose her memories and be more cold or like what? But now it's like, with the Final Horizon, I don't know. I just look at Frontiers and it's like, really, there is a lot of stuff, but not a lot of like planned springboarding, you know? It's kind of a...
It's completely fair. Like my
kind of like how Infinite is not used because they may potentially use him in the future, but he's off limits until then. Like
we're fucking whoring out Zavok like it's nobody's business. Who is also making his return in Sonic and the Toy thing, and
okay, That one I don't give a shit about because that's sort of like Sonic Speed Battle, right? Like I don't care.
I mean,
Put
I'm
Zavik in
just
it, that's
fucking.
fine.
I'm at a point where
I just don't want to see him in a mainline game again. Like
The thing is,
I don't get why they're like, oh, people like this character. Well, you can't use him, but he's Zavok.
Well, the thing,
Yeah.
on the subject of kind of like brand outlook, he's Sonic Bowser, and that bugs me. And I'm not someone that really gives that much of a fuck
He's
about
not though.
brand
He's
outlook.
Sonic Bowser in concept alone because he is not comparable to Bowser
But
in
that's
like
what I'm like. I
the
don't hate the
points that
sinner.
matter.
I hate the sin, and yours, my friend, is existing. Little Batman and Superman.
Wow.
You're going crazy with that shit today.
I need
Are you
to-
on like
look? This is
Snider
my look.
drip
if,
feed directly into your veins?
If Sonic Frontiers used references to kind of lay down foundations, so can I, damn it! And it's my way of drawing up my standards. Like it must
We're
be
making
said.
fun of it for making references.
My fucking reviews need a rule book. People need to understand how I do things because people are like, there's no perfect comic book movies, and I'm like, fucking Spider-Man 2. And people are like, what about fucking MJ abandoning fucking John Jameson at the altar? I'm like, yeah, that ain't good. It's like, how can you fucking call it perfect? Because a simple thing about me, and this is going to make sense of all my standards, okay? This is going to really lay it out. This is the Tails tube of Pup, all right? I do not equate flawlessness with perfection. Sometimes flaws make things more perfect in my eyes. And, for example, if MJ didn't abandon fucking John Jameson at the altar, it wouldn't be as amazing of an ending. We wouldn't get that amazing ending that we get in Spider-Man 2. And that movie's perfect, all right? It's perfect. It's got flaws, but it's perfect. Those flaws make it perfect. And
Plus, I've always felt that Spider-Man 4 could have kind of shown us that maybe MJ kind of is a bitch, canonically.
the thing is, she doesn't have to be. I think the one thing where I look at her, I'm like, God damn it, you sank low, is the fucking wedding abandonment, right? Like, look, thing is, I do not like the whole Harry Osborn thing. Her kissing fucking Spider-Man when she was with Harry. That was not a serious relationship. It ain't good what you did, but that was not a serious relationship. And with the whole Peter thing in Spider-Man 3, Peter was, in her defense, being a bit of a dick. Like, it's the thing is, all of them are flawed. All of them are flawed. Mary Jane is flawed. And, oh my god, it just fucking happens. I think these movies are fucking perfect because they're so flawed. Flawed in parts. And Sonic Frontiers is very fucking flawed. Do I think it's perfect? No. Do I think it's as good as Spider-Man 2? Fucking stop it. And do I... would I change anything about Spider-Man 2? No. Would I change anything about Sonic Frontiers? Yes. Yes. But I still love it. I still love the pants over that fucking thing. As I said, lights out and, put a little paper bag over the head when taking it out for walkies. But, like, aside from that, like... we're golden. I'm having a lovely time with you, Frontiers. I love you as you are, Frontiers. And that's it. This is why I'm a terrible fucking critic. Is because I always talk about things with my fucking heart. It's one of those things where I can have a rant about Sonic Frontiers for 2 hours, then when I sit down and play the game, I'm just having a whale of a time. That's my thing. That's my whole ass thing.
I think
there aren't any whales in that game, though.
You should make this thumbnail black and white. Maybe see if you can like crop it to 4:3 and then
intentionally cut off that's
all
a
the
Snider
text.
reference. I like the black and white one just fine, but I prefer the color one. And I don't care. I mean, I do care a little. It doesn't make any sense that fucking Steppenwolf came back to Earth after Darkseid basically just forgot about it. Okay, it doesn't make sense, but it needed to happen for the movie to go ahead, and the movie goes hard as fuck. So, like, how am I supposed to be mad about it? And that's my thing. Is I do care about quality. I do. There's just a lot of leeway with me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, sometimes part of quality is just simple dumb fun. That's kind of a thing I always look at with Spider-Man, where people say that the Raimi trilogy, that the characters are unlikable to some degree, or that that nobody actually acts like this, or that it's just very stupid and silly and maybe even mean-spirited in some places. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? It's awesome.
I was saying to Dylan, the ending of Final Horizon don't make a whole lick of sense in that In the original game's ending, Sage flies into the end so that she can contain the blast so that it won't blow up the whole fucking Earth or whatever the fuck, right? That's the implication there. Yet in Final Horizon, Sonic just goes straight through it, it blows up, and it's literally so fucking close to the Earth, yet it doesn't fucking matter. And yeah, that's food for thought. I acknowledge that. That's a weakness. I mean, if the other ending is actually not even canon, technically they can do whatever the fuck. But like, it is still kind of a violation of the rules you've laid out. But at the same time, Sonic just fucking flew a Supreme Titan through a fucking purple moon, and that's the coolest fucking goddamn shit I ever did see. Also, like that fucking that fucking quick spin cycle thing that he does around the end, the fucking Supreme, anyways, and like he brings the end down on the Supreme's back, and he's trying to hold it off, and he goes crackle crackle crunch. A, the end must be changing sizes in that moment. B, Sonic, you're a fucking danger bringing that thing so close to the planet. But oh my god, it is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not mad. It's like the Spider-Man 2 video game as well. Story's kind of ass gravy, but it's a video game, and I like it, and it means a lot to me. And I'm a bad critic because I cannot quantify anything for shit. But like, I don't
know. I mean, a lot of critics, I think, perhaps even myself included, forget the rule of cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with just experiencing the shit, you know. Yeah, actually, somebody in the chat brings up that being overly critical is exhausting too. But
yeah, I think I'm way too far in the opposite direction. I do admit that. So in my own little YouTube videos, I do try to kind of divorce my monkey brain from the. It's why I'll always acknowledge the weaknesses of it, while also returning to the monkey brain thing. But it's why I could never give something a rating out of 10. It wouldn't work. It would never work. Me giving something a rating out, what the fuck am I even gonna say? For Sonic Frontiers, what would I even rate that? It's a college project. It's an open beta test. You cannot justify asking someone to spend $60 on it. But I had an amazing time with it, and I'm fucking glad I did. What is this?
Well, I can't give ratings out of 10, and I realize this because I'm like, I don't know if I can really give anything a 10 out of 10 and feel like that I'm not being a weirdo.
That's always been my thing is
perfection. And
that's always been my thing is
I can't rate a game out of 10, a movie. I have this little app that I use every day that asks me like how I think my day is going, and I can't even fucking rate my days 10 out of 10. I usually get if I'm having a good day, I give it like a 9 because I'm like a 10 is like a really good day.
That was the thing. I had a lot of people clown on my Letterboxd profile. If you go on my Letterboxd profile and you see what the overall skewing of my ratings is, it's like predominantly 5-star ratings. And
that's because you review things you like. I assume.
No, because I have included things I don't like, and people are like, how the fuck do you have this many 5-star ratings, yet you gave Juno 1 star? I was like, I didn't like it. I found it insufferable. But fuck, where was I going with this? I think my thing is I'm not shy about giving something a 10 out of 10 because I do not conflate perfection and flawlessness. That's the thing is like, if you ask me to rate Zack Snyder's Justice League, it doesn't matter that Darkseid forgot the planet existed. It's a 10 out of 10. Why? Because it's fucking awesome. You know, that's just my thing, you know? My thing. It's my thing.
That's definitely that's the kind of thing that I always tried to convey with SA2 is that like, no, I don't think this is some perfect game, but
it's
like,
also a 10 out of 10 and it's perfect, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, basically, yeah.
That's the thing is it's not perfect. It's got its flaws, yeah, obviously, but it's also fucking perfect. You know, like Sonic Adventure.
Well, we don't get games like this. I'm this unabashedness of the game.
Yeah,
is energy
confidence,
that's not quite
conviction,
matched. Yeah,
mentality. Other words that I can throw out there, like Sonic Adventure 1. Potassium. Sonic Adventure 1.
It's important, you know.
That animation quality is absolutely a point against that game, surely. No, I like it better this way. I like it better that way indeed.
It's vintage.
It's a period piece. It's a time capsule, you know? People are like, oh,
That's also why it would feel weird if they remade it, you know? Because, like, it'd be... Like, they probably... I wouldn't want them to remake it and do it the exact same way, because it would feel really weird. But I also want it to play exactly the same. I wouldn't want them to change a goddamn thing about it.
Well, I
The
really,
Adventure
if
remake.
they ever...
Sorry.
That's the thing. People always bring up the topic of adventure remakes, and I just don't think it's as simple as like Crash or Spyro.
It's a
'cause I think
lose-lose situation. Because,
Yeah.
on one hand, if they made the animation as jank as it was in the original, that's a bad move. This is a modern game. That's a bad move. But also, I'd be fucking mad if it wasn't as jank as it was in the original game. So it's a lose-lose. Here's the fucking Spyro remakes, right? Big point against that game is the original games, for the NPC characters and stuff, they would just get like the fucking janitor to do the voice, which resulted in just some amazing performances. The point of reference being the fucking Romeo and Juliet thing in fucking Zephyr and Spyro 2, where it's like Romeo, like in the fucking remaster, they had an actual woman voice Juliet. I'm like, what the fuck? How did you miss it that badly? How is this better? It might be better quality wise, but how is this better? It's not fucking better. I can't fucking quote this. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Oh, fucking brilliant. No, it was good because he was...
That's a Shakespeare
"Wherefore
quote,
art
Pop.
thou, Romeo? Oh, there's Romeo. Like, that was what made it good.
Well, yeah, among the biggest reasons I pretty much don't want them to do adventure remakes is that I don't even want to hear these cutscenes with the new actors. Not to insult them, but just because, like, no, I refuse. These lines belong. These lines belong to the old.
They belong in the past.
I agree they belong to the old cast. It did remind me of one thing in your video where I could safely say I disagreed it without an objective pillar collapsing on my head. And that was the bit about the voice acting. I do like the new direction. I think it works. I remember...
You said you liked the new direction.
What did I do? What hang on, someone explain this to me.
It's okay.
Say it
You'll know
fast,
when you're
Pop.
older.
Say what he said fast.
Ah, I get it now. New direction. Yeah, no, you did that in the video, didn't you? Yeah, I just like I like the delivery. I like that they feel like people now. Like, there's something I've always liked about Sonic is, like, you've got these characters that are these Winnie the Pooh looking motherfuckers, but they have so much more to them. And that we had this Frontiers is like, he no longer is like, all right, he's like, you know, he's actually talking like a dude now. And I remember I got this buddy of mine who fucking hates Sonic. Fucking hates him because he thinks all he does is go, whoa, so fast. And like anytime I'll talk about him, he'll be like, oh, well, that dude that goes, whoa, look how fast. And he booted up Frontiers for the first time. I was like, wait a minute, why does Sonic not make me want to fucking die when he talks? I was like, this is right. This is what I want Sonic to be, a thing for people that hate Sonic. There we go. And that's not what I want Sonic to be. I'm not serious about that because that's colors. But it, you know, I just, you know what pisses me off is, and I know you'll disagree with me here, Jeb, but that line before the original end fight where he's like, he took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I think that is the coolest fucking thing Sonic's ever said, apart from sorry, Master King. That shit's awesome, and it's an awesome line read, but it doesn't matter. Who the fuck is he talking to? Like, the game sure as hell didn't make it clear. Like, is he talking... Because people are like, oh, he's talking to the being inside the Supreme Titan. No, he fucking isn't, because that thing was fucking ate out by the end, remember? And the only reason why Sage... The reason why Sage can control it is because it's empty, right?
That's another thing that Flynn said on the podcast is that, well, yeah, the original idea was that, like, the spirits of the Titan pilots would be, like, there, like, glowing, following Sonic, and so
that would make a lot of fucking sense, wouldn't it? That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's just very simple if you put it that way, but at the current moment, I'm really confused.
I see we went to the Rise of Skywalker school of visual storytelling.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. I think that line is like fine. Like I don't have but it's just the context in which it's in is so jarring. And obviously, I don't really like the way it's delivered myself, but like that's just me.
I just hear the desperation in your voice. I'm like, I'll help you. I'll do it.
You should have gone. You could have gone. They took your homes and your lives. Are you gonna let them do it again? I need your help, but I'm here for you. Like throwing one more reference.
The unedited script.
Did you guys ever see the Datamined script for the Final Horizon?
I saw bits and pieces.
I didn't.
It's mostly the same. There's like a few tiny changes, but one of those changes was that somewhere in the final boss fight, Eggman was going to say, "Get a load of this."
Oh yeah,
edit.
yeah. Very glad that. Look, I love that line, but like, time and a place, Ian. Like,
oh my god! Right when he's about to shoot Sonic at the moon, he whispers to himself, "Get a load of this." Actually, that could have gone really hard if he whispered it like really seriously.
I feel like in that moment, because you've got Kellen just going, "Wow!" It's like that. I don't want anyone talking over that. Do not talk over I'm Here Revisited. Shut the fuck up, all of you. I'm Here Revisited is such a good song. Do not talk over it. Apart from if you're going to say, sorry, Master King. Looks like I'm going all after. Like, I want... Master King's like my nickname, you know? That's what people call me, you know? Like, and I'm just like, yeah. No,
that's legitimately what I call King K sometimes.
Oh my god, those mouth noises
that's
really
a good
cemented a different meaning going on there. Ooh, golly. Bit fruity.
What was that?
I don't know, you tell me.
Like
that was like an actual like horror scream that you'd hear in like that was like a pterodactyl just possessed your body.
Well, I've been working on my voice for you. What can I say?
Can we
Thanks, man.
Can we talk about era labeling? Because I know that you proposed before you'd proposed brand era, I got thinking a lot about what I would call this era.
All right.
I would call it the Rehab era. I said to my buddy Dom, the Sonic franchise after Sonic Forces and stuff was like that guy that basically lives on your couch, doesn't even try to get a fucking job, doesn't even fucking try to do shit and stuff. He's just a burden on you. And you told him to get out. And he's come back 5 years later, and he's Frontiers now. And he's got a job. He's told you he's got a job. He's got his own place. He won't be staying here anymore. He's even agreed to meet you in a mutual location as opposed to in your house, which makes a nice change, because you know he's not going to set up camp there and stay there for too long. And here's the thing. He's still got shit in his diaper. And that's what I'm seeing right now. And it stinks. I can smell your shitty diaper from here. But you did get a job. And you did get out of my house. And you did agree to meet me in a mutual location. And you did something else. But you still got a bit of shit in your diaper.
And I did hear from a friend that you were, indicted for like 2 years in that 5-year interim, but you're still making it work, You
still shit yourself, but you did everything I needed you to do. Like, and
that's really all we can ask for.
I can't be mad at you for that. I mean, yeah, you do still kind of stink a little. But maybe next time you won't have a shitty diaper. Maybe next time you'll be wearing those underpants, Those.
Yeah.
So Sonic Frontiers is a big, beautiful game with a shitty diaper.
That is the best summation I've ever heard. Rehab era. There's a lot of era names that begin with R. But I like that one. Nah, but
what are the other ones beginning with?
Well, there's like Redemption era, Renaissance era. Well, I was about to say another era that doesn't actually exist, and that would have gotten us demonetized. But
all the best.
Yeah. Redacted era. No, but like I see a lot of like legacy names and like names that are meaning to talk about just like how this is really going to establish a new era that kind of revitalizes Sonic, so to speak. And that's definitely like true to some extent.
Want to kind of acknowledge that I am seeing the chat are probably feeling a little critical towards me for kind of indulging the whole next time.
Yeah, they hate you.
Yeah, I know, I feel it. But I do want to really stress, I think they did do it this time because I enjoyed the game a lot. I really, really love Sonic Frontiers. If I didn't love the game, I would not see fit to say, I think next time's going to be better. I think the thing you got to take from me is I think next time it's going to be even better. You got to put that even in there, you know?
Yeah.
The even makes all the difference. One word can make so much difference, you know?
No, that's true. The Band-Aid era. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It's really like that's the thing with era names that like people would kind of call it like a Renaissance era back when like Colors and Generations came out, or even like Lost World, because Lost World you could realistically be like, okay, well that was like the one time that was kind of weird, but whatever. We obviously think that next game will be goated again, and that's why I just think with era names, like I think people shouldn't take it so seriously for one thing, but for another, usually I think it's really good. You know, nobody, when the actual Renaissance era in the real world existed, I don't think they just one day someone was like, I think we can call this the Renaissance era.
I think it's too soon. Like that's my thing is I think the bigger picture when it comes to Sonic, it's kind of too soon to judge either way. Like, but, you know, judging Sonic Frontiers on its own merits, like, it's, you know, it's polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's a piece of
the
fucking
duct
media.
tape era. I like. Wait, okay. Sorry, the Band-Aid era is hilarious to me because that implies like you can call the previous ones like the gaping wound era.
Which I think really
is really funny.
Like that was the thing is I saw like I mean, it also speaks to the storytelling as well because I still think Colors is a good game and I still think Generations is a good game. And I would say, you know, they represented the franchise being in quite a good place between that and Unleashed. And then, like, Lost World just felt like a bit of a wiggle. Like, I thought it was still a well-made game. It just wasn't what I wanted, you know? Boom was its own thing.
Lost World.
I do like the Boom universe a lot. I never want Sonic to be a comedy, but I think they did a great job with the tone of that universe, with the world building, with the characterization. And I saw a blueprint within Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric that could have been made to work. But it's just unfortunate stumbled out. What the fuck am I talking?
I don't know, man.
I think I was just saying I
struggle
struggle to put a label on the previous era, basically. Like, because it's just all over the map. You know, and I don't
and that's really why, like, it's... If you want to get close to, like, objective, it really... I only believe that you can say, like, 90s, 2010s, and so forth. But even then, it's like, well, Adventure came out in 98, you know? So
I don't think it's fair for Sonic Forces to dominate the narrative when it comes to games like Generations, Colors, and Unleashed. And I think it has a tendency to, is I guess what I'm basically getting at there. And yeah, it was just an odd time. The 2010s just unfortunately didn't have a lot of Sonic content to offer in the long run. And I think if they just had a bit more going on, they could have mitigated a few things. But yeah, it's why I don't truly take the era naming conventions thing seriously either. But if I were to like put a label on Sonic Frontiers, it would probably be Rehab. And like Rehab ain't always going to be pretty, but I've said all.
Well, and again, it's not just Frontiers. It's also just like, well, we're really focusing on like these re-releases for better or worse, and we have the movies and stuff. And this really is like a big formal. We're pushing Sonic as its like inception and reintroducing it to a lot of people because this is where a new audience is gonna pop in, and it's also where an old audience is going to, you know, remain on board.
Yeah, because it was just like it was interesting, like when it came to like the Sonic storytelling shift. going into like Sonic Color stuff, is my buddy Nick pointed out to me, it kind of begins with Unleashed. You can see the symptoms of that emerging. And I think Unleashed has one of the best stories in the franchise. But you can actually see some of the symptoms of that seeping into Unleashed. It's wall to wall, there isn't the disparity between those eras. If you kind of look at it end to end, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, how were you feeling?
I am starving.
I suppose I am too.
I
I haven't
am
eaten.
rather hungry.
I think it's like I ate before this, but I think I burned every single calorie I put in my body talking about this shit.
I think I burned the calories I had from dinner last night by laughing. You've made me laugh.
Hooray!
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Well, do you want to do super chats?
Yeah, sorry, I was just getting something prepped. Alright, so the way this goes, Jeb, is we do it table order based on what's on screen. So it would go Garrulus64, myself, and then yourself. You are last in this pecking order. And the one to read will be the one with a burger beneath it when the time comes. That way you can... Oh, also, they're in the Super Chats mailbag channel. Probably should have fucking mentioned that. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll put a burger beneath the one that needs to be read next. So, Dylan, you begin
I want a
with burger.
I kind of do too. All right. So first off, Radiant Starlight with $20 US.
That's $19.99. Stop rounding.
How are you boys on this fine morning? It's 11 a.m. for me, LOL. Probably not going to super chat much today. I'm trying to save up for a new PC. Last time I tried to play Frontiers, it crashed your entire computer. I love de novo. I feel you, man.
But also,
that's
you're trying to save,
very unfortunate.
Giving us $20 is still a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. We please save up for your computer to experience a game that is incredibly
amazing.
Polarizing, as you can
Top
see
tier.
by this.
Perfect. Literally perfect.
Perfect in every way, but also one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen.
Oh, it's like actual love, as in like, God, this sucks, but at the same time, God, I love you, you know?
I mean, you're going to need a real beefer computer to be able to handle all this Frontiers. Like, it's a wide open fucking...
There's a lot to
virtual
load in,
universe.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
A lot it has to load in very quickly, might I add.
In real time.
Yeah.
It's pretty cutting edge.
Insta LOD. It's not their fault, by the way, but like, it is what it is. Burger. Oh, that's me. So, Radiant Starlight back again. So much for saving for that fucking PC, Radiant Starlight, but thank you. With $1.99. Garrulus64's real name is Gary Lus 64 in Roman numerals. In brackets, real.
Real.
How do you,
What do you have to say about
just
this,
know
Garrulus?
Roman numerals?
Me thinking back to the fucking my Roman numeral mishap last week. Sonic part IV. What are you talking about?
Oh,
what did I
God.
say it was?
Yeah, no, it was. I don't even know, dude. Like, it was something.
Oh, I just read it as like V or something, and I was like,
you
what
did
are
a
you
big
for?
stupid. Oh no, it was the Sonic
It
Dance
was-
Power CDs.
Yeah, what did I say it was?
You said it was.
Bro,
Sonic
I thought it was
Dance
version
Power...
2.
You said it was Sonic Dance Power V1.
V1.
Yeah.
I was reading it like it was a version number, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, Jeb, you're.
Oh,
up.
God damn it.
Oh boy. Okay. Then we got I'm so dumb. What is CHF?
Oh! I know what these are.
That's a good question. I don't know either.
Swedish francs, I think. Swedish francs.
Yeah,
How does that stand for
we got
Swedish
two
francs?
of those. We got two of those. Whatever. From Go Kenji, and it says, "Nice, you are still going." Oh yeah, we
The
are.
sun never sets here. Burger. Dylan. Burger.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about burgers.
Me too. I'm hungry too. I didn't eat today.
Yeah, jeez.
Seaman, $7.99 Australian dollary dues. That was coined by someone who sent in some
Was it
dollary dues
Seaman
before
that
that.
coined the dollary dues?
I'm not sure, but I like that a lot. So I can confirm that emus and llamas aren't related. Pup.
Emus. I remember when
Emus.
Emmy was in the chat the other day and you were like, emu.
I didn't mispronounce the Emmy part.
No, but I
mispronounced
used to.
the
I
emu
used to be
part.
like, oh yes, emu.
First of all, I literally I've been thinking about emulators all day. So I did not read that properly. I did not read that as the bird.
Hey, babe. I've been thinking about
Emus.
emulators
Sorry,
all day.
No, that was today. I've been today thinking about
The
emulators.
text your
Okay, so
bitch just
emus
like, hey, babe,
and
girl.
llamas aren't related, pup.
Sorry.
Emus have been down under long before llamas arrived. What do you mean they arrived? When they come here on a ship?
What the fuck? When did I mention this?
That was last week. Was this one like fell through the cracks or something?
I don't know. But I like it. Thank you. Borger. So, Go Kenji returns with 2 Swedish francs, saying, next main Sonic in Unreal Engine 5. Now, this is another rumor that was going with the Heroes thing, was that they're abandoning Hedgehog Engine 2 in favor of Unreal Engine 5. Now, that would only be a good thing, but based on everything I've seen of Hedgehog Engine 2, aside from Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympic Games, yay, let it go, dude.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say this, especially because that was when you really think about it, Hedgehog Engine 2 is it's old now. So much time has passed, and I don't know.
It's over.
Yeah.
I also I don't know if it was Hedgehog Engine 2 that was the problem with Frontiers fucking shadows moving at 1 frame per second, or the fucking subsurface scattering on Sonic being abysmal, but either way,
Yeah.
my guy looked like a glow stick and it needs to stop. So I think Unreal Engine 5 would be excellent for Sonic, because I think that... Have you guys seen the trailer for Marvel 19 something the fuck?
Yeah, I did.
That thing I was kind of worried about that game because I feel like they're putting a lot of efforts going into it, but the fact that they didn't put Captain America or Black Panther in the title, I feel like it's not going to sell as well.
Maybe.
I have a feeling it's not really going to do that well, but I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, this looks...
It looks cool.
That's an
this
Unreal
can't
Engine
really
5
be real.
thing. So it's like,
yeah.
Come on, give me my photorealistic Sonic. Make him look horrifying.
I mean, as Clement once said about 06, it's special and new, even if it is terrifying. It is special and new.
That's a good way to put it.
Though, I feel now that the movies have kind of shown me that photorealism in Sonic can work. I feel.
Well, I really do genuinely. I think it just looks really jarring that Sonic does not have any proper fur or anything, especially because in Mario Odyssey, when they revealed Mario Odyssey, the detail in Mario's mustache,
the hyper realistic mustache.
It also depends on if you do a Toon Sonic in a real world, he needs to move more like a Toon. That way you can kind of have that Roger Rabbit stuff. That's what I've done for my little short. Is Sonic is in a real world and he's still a cartoony hedgehog, but he moves very toony.
Definitely.
Okay, so this next one is for you, Borger.
Borger. Okay, we have $10 from Joe Madre.
Oh, I get it.
It's you know.
What do you think? What do you think about it when people complain that Sonic fans criticize the same things too often?
I don't know.
That was what this podcast was.
Yeah,
we kept talking about the same things.
I can't really think anything if I'm guilty.
God.
I saw that one come in. I was like, dude, you're
over.
This is a targeted super chat.
They got you in the crosshairs. I mean, I don't know. I think there's such a thing as counterproductive, I guess, but that would... I think if you're still saying Sonic 06 is bad, it kind of goes without, like... I think it's amazing, but, like, I also get it. I don't know. I don't think there is such a thing as over... I don't know, man. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like, talk about it. You got every right to, you know? It's a Second Amendment right?
Well, when we're talking about people complaining that Sonic fans criticize the same things too often, we have to be a bit more specific. If it's people being like, "Oh man, Sonic fans always complain about Sonic's design," then no, I'm sorry, but let people fucking talk about it, please.
There's things like when, like, I can just say the most even slightly negative thing and be like, you keep playing again. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's all I got.
Or if it's just the notion that Sonic fans complain too often in general.
We are also a very patient people.
Yeah. I think people, I mean, if we wait for 5 years for a game, we're going to talk about it, good and bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope the next
also
mainline game does not take 5 years. There's no reason for it to.
Well, that's the question. Do you consider, because I think Shadow Generations will be its own, like, EXE
Yes.
next to Generations, so do you consider that, in essence, kind of like a next mainline? Because it looks like it has a lot of the Frontiers DNA in it.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what kind of...
Depends on if it's 2 hours long, then I don't accept it. It's kind of like...
Yeah.
Like, they're like... Some people are like, oh, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. The Bowser's Fury part is like the most recent 3D Mario entry. Technically, yes. But I don't know if I, like, accept that's like the big 3D Mario that came out like 3 years after Odyssey or whatever.
Yeah, it's
like it's the same thing. Like, if it's 2 hours long, the Shadow stuff, then I don't accept that as the next major entry.
Yeah, that's like a DLC.
Well, if it's like 3 hours long, though,
absolutely.
Forces is 3 hours long.
Forces is barely that. Forces is like fucking... Forces, if you skip the cutscenes, you can get it done in under an hour.
Yeah.
Not under an hour. No, not under an hour. Under 2 hours. I will be fair.
There was the case of the guy who, like, bought the game and then played it and then refunded it.
That is the thing, is Forces is, like, it was a game that I waited, like, 4 years for, and it was under 2 hours. I can't accept that, And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they didn't sell it for full price. I would rather pay full price for a bigger game.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, another reason why I'm so grateful for Frontiers is, like, oh, man, it had substance. I don't need it to be that long every time. Like, I think 6 hours is reasonable. But, like, yeah, with the Shadow thing, I feel like when I'm thinking of, like, next mainline Sonic game, it's going to sound silly, but I mean, like, the next one that's going to carry it forward. As in, like... Because fucking Shadow Generations is more like it's a supplementary piece, or maybe it is a main game and they just shipped Generations with it so that they could justify a $60 price tag. Wink, wink. That's what I think what they're doing. But
it's kind of like a main game in so far as like Secret Rings or Black Knight. It's like they're
like as in like this isn't the one that's going to tell us this is what it is now. This is a little something to say, hey, this is for you. Eat it. Yummy. Like a dream team.
Like,
yummy. Loved
like
it.
Like what you're saying, as long as it's like it doesn't have to be. I think Frontiers took me like, I think I played it for like 16, 17 hours or something, 20 hours. I don't know. I'm slow at playing video games. I agree. It doesn't need to be the longest game in existence. Doesn't need to be padded out. As long as it's like something I can come back to and play again. It does not need to be a forever long game.
Yeah, but I still think 2 hours isn't enough.
I mean, on average,
it's not
I always watch the cutscenes when I play SA2, and typically, that game takes like about 5 hours if I'm just playing it.
Adventure 2 is substantial enough. Like, if it's as long as
I think that is
I'll
a perfect length.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I'll happily go for longer too, but like as it is, yeah. And another thing I do appreciate about Frontiers is that, like, again, it managed to be as long as it was while also just letting me go, like, running around and fast and shit without, having to throw in any mechs or climbing or anything like that, which I do enjoy. I like the mechs and stuff, but like, kudos to them for making Sonic able to run for that long, if you get me, because that was always the thing. Is like, what they said around the time of Unleashed is like, oh, if we make a game that's just Sonic running, it's not going to be very long, and then they kind of just did that.
That's what I want the game for. That's what I'm playing Sonic game for.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, come on, just make more of it, you know? Like, just do more. You see,
that's like the most confusing mentality to make, because they came up with a fucking awesome gameplay style for Sonic after the huge failure of 06. And they were like, yeah, okay, well, we're done making that, so let's fill the rest of the game with just shit people aren't gonna like, except the people who are lying to themselves.
I'm not fucking lying to myself, prick. I like the Werehog.
Personally, I believe that the Werehog emits like Snider energy. Like,
It's
if
not
you
just
really
that.
think about it.
Now I get why Pup likes it, okay.
No, the sin of the Werehog is that they start you out too nerfed, but once you've leveled the fucker up, it feels good. You feel powerful, and then like and it is that once again putting an asterisk next to a thing to justify why it's good. But also, I don't actually think
that's the same thing as when people are like, hey, this show is really great after you pass these 6 seasons.
Yeah, well,
it's like, I'm just not gonna fucking watch it then, dude.
Just shut up, all right? Just shut up.
No, but to be fair, I mean,
I don't see
maxed out Werehog is like kind of fun.
I don't see a.
I think just make it like that to begin with, then.
I do not see a.
Yeah,
I
like
agree.
that.
I agree, but I don't see a gulf of difference between Werehog and Sonic 1. Okay, I just don't see a gulf of difference. Fucking the Missouri stage as the Werehog has me pushing some blocks and some switches and shit, and then I climb a pole and I do a flip, and it's like, that's just fucking.
The difference
marble,
is
that's
that in
literally
Sonic
marble.
1, if you spend 25 minutes playing a level, you will be dead twice.
Why would you spend 25 minutes playing a Werehog level?
Because they're all fucking 30 minutes long.
They're not 30 minutes long. You're just bad at them.
And if you're
No,
playing your
I'm
first
not.
Time, they are like 30 minutes long.
Not that long.
Well, not with it.
I'm like 8
Um,
minutes. Like 8 minutes tops.
Pop, the time on those things can go really high, especially if you keep dying. And for someone who doesn't like that kind of gameplay, getting through those stages can just be like a fucking slog.
I
Like,
think
if I
there's
keep
no
dying, I'm like,
difference.
I don't want to. Sure, maybe I'm bad at it, but like, fuck, I don't want to be good at it. Like, I don't like
think
it.
it is no different from the moment-to-moment platforming in Sonic 1. That's how
I think you are incorrect. I think this is the hottest take you've ever had, and it's the most I've ever disagreed with you.
It's the exact same, dude. It's the exact
I think you are
same.
insane.
It is
I think you are
literally
crazy.
identical. It is literally the same.
You are
If you play the Werehog
crazy.
and you don't immediately find yourself playing Sonic 1, you are lying to yourself.
Dude,
You
if
might
they made
be-
the Werehog,
you might
I know this is
be
the end of the
insane.
podcast, but this
You
is like
might
so
be
egregious to me.
Clinically
Pup,
insane.
listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm
If
listening.
let's reverse the situation here
Okay.
and say the Werehog was the game they released instead of Sonic 1, and ignore the technical jump from there, right?
What an
Ignore the fact that it'd be
incredible
insane.
game. What a brilliant...
If that was
it would
Sonic
be the
1,
same game.
if that was the entirety of Sonic 1, Sonic would have been a dead brand immediately.
No, it wouldn't, because it would be the exact same game.
You are full of shit.
I'm not full of shit. You're literally full of
You're-
shit.
I mean, in terms of platforming,
It is...
possibly.
It is absolutely identical.
I see
And
what you're trying to say. I just completely disagree with
do
you on every
do you want me
single
to
possible
drop,
fact.
Do you want me to
facet.
drop the act a little bit? Do you want me to drop the act?
Are you acting?
Little bit. Little bit. It's an
I'm
exaggeration.
not angry. I'm just like I'm like
No,
dumbfounded.
it's okay. Look. Why are your eyes red? Just don't worry about it. Look, I'm not yelling at you. I'm not.
I'm crying.
It's okay. But the Simpsons guy
I
is
also
a good
didn't-
crossover, Evil Dalek. You like
I
Doctor
also
Who. Your
didn't
opinion's
mean to
invalid.
react
I
that
like Doctor Who
strongly.
too.
I'm also very hungry.
But okay, all right, okay. So we'll talk about the Werehog another time. But I will defend the Werehog because I think there is a certain kineticism to it that the Sonic requires, and I think it has enough in common with the Sonic platforming of old for me to say it's good.
Who had the burger next?
Oh, right, my bad.
I'm sorry, Jeb. I'm sorry you were in the middle of that.
Yeah, we don't usually fight. All right, look, we love each other very much.
When I get very
I'm not
angry.
so sure I believe you.
We love each other very much, all right? We're like brothers. This is what
I
me
think
and
you
Nick
could
were like
probably
before
go
Nick
back
left
through the
show.
podcast and not find a single moment where I react that way.
Look, we're gonna
Anything he's ever said.
you're gonna play Sonic Unleashed with me one day, and you're gonna look me in the eye and you're gonna say I was wrong, and I'm gonna let Pup do it again, and that'll be that. But okay, Borger. Fuck it, Dylan. You want to get?
I think it's me. Crimson Rose, $5. Fun fact: Sonic 06 is still available on the 360 store for $5. Cool. Now I can go buy it. Thanks.
$5 is a good price for that. You know, like
that's not a bad price for Sonic 06. I feel like I've paid more for it.
I would buy Sonic 06 for $35.
I wouldn't. Not at this
I would
point.
give myself polio for a chance to play Sonic 06.
I would buy a remaster of Sonic 06 for $30.
Gilbert Gottfried stand-up reference for you.
Perhaps.
I would spend all $19.99 of Whale Johnson's money on a copy of Sonic 06. Thank you, Whale Fox Johnson. About Eggman getting affection from people, which covers more than humans. There's two emojis there. Other than Sonic, who has shown affection for Eggman from time to time, Gerald really didn't. He forgot about Eggy with his hatred to destroy humanity. I mean, that would kind of fuck a dude up, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always inferred about SA2 is that Eggman, like, saw the imprisonment of Gerald or whatever, just knew something about Gerald's genius and how it went. And I believe
executed by firing squad.
I believe that Eggman was a changed man because of that.
So I wouldn't, so here's the thing. I wouldn't be okay with retconning any of that. I think that's awesome, but when movie Robotnik, like, when fucking, he was talking about how he was adopted and shit, and then Tom Wachowski's like, I was breastfed, and his immediate response is, nice! I was like, okay, fuck Gerald. This is good.
That was, okay, wait. To lighten the shit after my fucking outburst. Which again,
so
I am.
You admit you were being an irrational little girl. Okay, good.
No, I fully stand behind what I said. I am just sorry that I got
behind it, hide behind it, cower behind
hungry
it.
about
I will always win. Sorry, go on.
I was extremely hungry, but okay.
I too.
That line in the movie, where I was breastfed. Nice. And I was like, that. I think that made me laugh harder than anything in any of the movies, because like keeping that just in a vacuum is such a funny statement to me.
Also, look what came from my
like, he's such a creep. That's a pretty good one too.
Yeah.
It's when they're kind of accidentally sexual that it becomes really funny.
I feel like, honestly, Jim Carrey Robotnik is accidentally sexual, like, probably half the time, especially because of
absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Like all the dancing and stuff, like, damn. Ooh.
Damn.
Worker. This is your one, Jeb.
All right. Burger time. Bladed Fox 14 sent two US dollars. The reason I hate the Japanese. Channel Pup.
Yeah.
That was clipping out a certain. That was not the end of the statement, but this is the end of the super chat, so we have to read it.
Fucking hate him.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. Sunset City's like the Joe Rogan of Sonic podcasts.
Oh God! Don't put that on me.
Nah, man, you're part of this now. Borger.
Bladed Fox 14. $2 US. They died like true soldiers. Knuckles.
In reference to
in Operation Big Wave, I imagine.
He's referring to the Kako in this case, but
the Kako.
What? No, the Kako. What are you talking about?
I would, if they had pronounced it Kako the entire game with a straight face, I would have laughed like every time. Sonic, we have to help the Kako. Yeah, let's go help the Kako, Amy.
Actually, on my desk, I've got my little Sonic Frontiers statue that my sister got me for Christmas, and it's got two little Kakos next to him. It's great. Cute.
Where are the marketable plushies?
Listen.
Where are they?
Listen, the brand does not extend that far. Borker. This is you, Dylan.
Didn't I just read?
Yeah, you just read.
Did you?
I just read the Kako one. Yeah.
Oh, so it's my turn. Okay, sorry, dementia moment. So Snakugo sends $5 super chatting to force Deb to dab on them. Hit the dab, you madman.
I just did.
That was
Nice.
Take my word for it.
Sick. All right, well that's the end of that then. Which means only one thing. Uh-oh, now we really have to go. There's a skeleton and he's gonna eat us.
No.
Oh.
Jeb, what are you getting up to, dude? Like, what do you want to promote? What do you want to shill?
Well, actually, right now, believe it or not, I'm kind of taking a bit of a step back from YouTube. Part of the reason fucking that skeleton scared me.
I know, that's why we gotta go.
Yeah, he'll eat us.
Well, you know, I have YouTube, but I've been taking a step back to do freelance work. So if anybody's looking for like an editor or voiceover guy or just anything, I could maybe help you out there. But when I return to YouTube, I intend on fulfilling my own Forces rewrite.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make a Forces rewrite with artwork, and it'll be cute and dandy, and it'll all be in one video. So it'll
we should
surely
straight
be
up try
like
to fucking rival both of us. On one hand,
an hour and a half.
he's doing freelance stuff like me, and on the other hand, he's rewriting the Sonic Forces like you do.
That's
I don't.
This
I didn't
bastard.
copyright that.
This
I
bastard
just did it once.
encroaching
like
on
4
our
years
territory.
old or something.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah,
if you want an edit
I'm
done,
looking forward to that.
then go to our boy Jeb here, and if it's not good enough. Dylan, what are you up to?
I'm eating chips.
Okay, but like, as in, like promotion.
Oh, yeah. So I'm making a video about making a video about Sonic Unleashed.
Son of a bitch. You have a lot of nerve
But it-
bringing that round here, you know.
it might not be what you're expecting. It was originally going to be an April Fool's thing, but then I realized I don't think I can finish it by Monday. So instead of being an April Fool's joke, it is just going to be a regular joke. I hope that's okay. But that should be out next Friday, and I think it's going to be fun. I got to play Sonic Unleashed, and I finally understand why everyone likes it so much. I finally get it.
Clearly you don't, but that's okay.
I finally understand. I
Dylan,
get
have
it
you
now.
seen my video on why Sonic Unleashed is the best fucking thing ever?
No, I won't watch it.
And I think you should just watch it, because it's easier. It's easier for me to show you that than for me to actually explain why I like the Werehog.
I'm not gonna listen. It's okay.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out,
No,
please.
no.
I just
Sorry.
Come on, man.
I won't change my mind on it. It's
I don't
a
need you to
terrible
change your
addition
mind
to
on
that
it.
game.
I don't need you to change your mind on it. I just need you to hear me out. My birthday's coming.
What are you
up.
working on, pup?
Fucking.
What are you doing, pup? What are you working on? I saw you
Working on
made some
it.
MCU suit reviews, some tier lists.
Just reevaluating everything, to be quite frank.
Frank's not here.
man.
I know, but to be him, I'm reevaluating fucking everything. I thought
I think
knew.
Frank was in the chat. Hi, shout
He
out
was.
Frank.
He was. Yep, he was for a bit.
Okay, so I did a recent video about the fucking Sonic Toys party. So if
Oh,
what
he's
I
still
said-
in chat.
If what I said today didn't satisfy you, then you can watch that video. I've also done, yes, some suit thingies for the MCU, and also I'm going on vacation soon. That'll be that, and you'll enjoy it. Oh wait, just one more thing, one more super chat, one more,
One more.
and then the cutoff. Sonic
Oh, that
Fan
makes it
16.
nice and even.
Yeah. So, Jeb, you want to get this one?
Oh yeah. We got a $5 donation from Sonic Fan 1661. Pretty ancient there.
Just like the ancients.
of which we do not hate in this context. Hey, been with friends and just chipping in to support y'all. Will not miss class next week, I promise.
It's okay. You only missed class this week because the ancients in the cyberspace and the ancient cyberspace.
Yes.
Thank you, Sonic fan. We always appreciate you.
Yeah, we
Thank
do.
you very much.
Right, well, the episode's over. You want the last word?
Oh wait, my Sonic Forces adaptation, the whole script's on Patreon. Cha-ching! If you ever want
On
to
your
check it
Patreon,
out.
might we add?
On my Patreon,
Not on the
not
Sunset
these
City
guys.
one.
I mean,
We'll
if you
not
want to
find it
support
there.
them, you can. But I mean, you know,
If you could send us the PDF, we can put it on the Sun.
I'll
Wow.
steal his Patreon
Yeah,
fuel.
Yeah, if we could just have that, that would be great. I think I should be able to have that.
I can give you the drive link. Mhm.
Yeah, life would be so great if I just got everything I wanted all the time.
Yeah, the whole script's done. I'm just working on like art and stuff and trying to edit the video, and I want it to be special for the Sonic fans, for the kiddies. So yeah.
Golly. I need to call the police.
Hell yeah.
No. Okay, that's all for me. One last note from me. This is not sequel.
Okay. Nice. I like it. And then Pup takes the last word. Go.